nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. A huge NFC North showdown with massive playoff implications Sunday afternoon in Minneapolis. The Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers currently listed as 1.5-point underdogs, according to ESPN Bet. How badly do the Packers need this win on Sunday? Rob Demovsky via Jordan Love on how significant the win would be.
I asked Jordan yesterday, I said, look, you're combined 0-5 against the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings. How badly do you need to win against one of these good teams? And he did not hesitate, and he said badly. And he went on to say, we have one more chance this week, and we got to be able to win these games against the really good teams and set ourselves up for the situation that we're going to be in the playoffs. And, of course, they're going to be a wild card team. They're going to have to go on the road.
ESPN Packers reporter Rob Demovsky appearing nationally on Greeny earlier today. He also appeared on Wilde and Tausch. If you missed any of that conversation, find the full show podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Jim, Matt, and Molly starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Yeah, okay, a military wife,
you,
a deep sea fisherman,
Jim,
and a lead conductor for an orchestra. That was actually pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Love, Goff, and Darnold are unique names. Williams is a very generic name.
Almost as generic as Brown. I totally understand.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
I mean,
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. As Matt Hamilton is chuckling, you can see us on the ESPN Wisconsin YouTube page, ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee. I'm going to tell you this right now. I love Apple stuff, but at the same time, I hate Apple products because my phone and my computer both want to use my AirPods, and now it's not working on either. So I am holding, if you watch on ESPN Madison's YouTube in Milwaukee, I am holding up the phone to my face like it's 1992. Matt Hamilton, he is on the board as well.
I thought I was going to look the most ridiculous on today's show, but you are clearly winning.
I don't know. I kind of like this. I feel like Gordon Gekko or Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street.
It's
phones
something
aren't going
very
to dial
80s,
themselves, Matt Hamilton. The phones
That's
are not
true.
going to dial themselves. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We are filling in the normal time slot across ESPN Wisconsin on KBN. Why are we here? Well, because Matt, especially you, known as the hardest working person at ESPN Wisconsin. Matt is up north wearing his Outback hat that he got for Christmas. I'm in the Madison area. Jesse Nelson back at the Everlight Solar Studio. We have you for 3 hours today. So at some point during these 3 hours, I'll get this equipment working a little bit better, hopefully, Matt Hamilton.
Otherwise, your elbow
for
is
now,
going to be killing you.
For now, you guys are just going to look like I'm kicking it old school, and maybe I'm making some cold calls. Maybe I'm talking to grandma, or maybe I'm doing a show with Matt Hamilton. So the funny thing is, Matt, if we were not on social and streaming everywhere, nobody would have any idea, and I probably sound really good. But if you're watching online, I look ridiculous. And speaking of looking ridiculous,
it is incredibly high quality. Just so you know, like, you sound amazing right now. This is wonderful.
That is true. Matt sounds like he is really in a faraway land. And maybe I'll just kick it old school and just hold the phone up to my face the entire show. Honestly, if it wasn't for the optics of it, I would be fine with it. I'm in a chair, my arms up on an L, a nice little L shape here. I can just hold the phone all day. I work out at Carbon World Health, Matt Hamilton. I can handle holding the phone all day. These things are light anyways. I'm tough like that.
Exactly.
What is this shirt? I'm wearing a Rhinelander shirt today. What is that? A Kenosha, Wisconsin shirt you're wearing today?
No, it's Kashina.
Kashina. Sorry.
And Legend Lake is the like kind of chain of lakes my dad has his cabin on.
Okay, I was going to say never heard of that area. So
yeah, well, we all have matching sweatshirts now, so that's awesome.
Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, chimes in that Matt is the hardliest working man in radio. I do appreciate that little play on words there.
Pretty close.
It is a Friday before the Packers play on Sunday, and Matt, I'm going to acknowledge I'm having a rough time with the days. We are in some sort of twilight zone. There's no real time. There's no real days. Times and days is just a construct, man. It is just that weird in between Christmas and New Year's. And sometimes we're working and sometimes we're not, because I'm not really doing my day job today. I'm just doing the radio show today. You are not doing your day job either. I'm assuming you're not curling. And
no, I have not gone curling.
That's your normal routine, despite what Mark Tauscher implies, that you just show up a couple hours before the Olympics and get after it. So it is a little bit of a weird time. We probably have a disjointed audience again, especially if you're just tuning in. It is Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. We are filling in for KBN. We filled in yesterday 9 to noon for Wilde and Tausch. And then next week, I think we're just back to our normal stuff. But we do appreciate the audience across a lot of Southeast Wisconsin, including, look, I grew up in Cedarburg. So shout out to Cedarburg and go Bulldogs. So Matt Hamilton, that's why I thought your shirt said Kenosha. I thought you were maybe rocking something to represent our larger fan base today, our different audience today.
Yeah, no, was not thinking that far ahead. Just enjoying the Christmas presents that I got. I'm a sucker like that. I'm sure I know all of us are in some fashion, but like I will have worn almost everything I got by the time I go home from this. And
that does bring me. And I want to get to the Vikings in a second, but we didn't do it the other day, and I still think we're in that kind of window. What are your thoughts on adult presents? 844-770-3776. Like at some point, like when you can buy presents for yourself. And we did something different in my family this year on my side of the family is that you took one name out of a hat and you spent X amount of dollars on that one name. So you were assigned one person and they gave you a wish list of like, obviously, hopefully like 10 things. And you just pick off that list. But then you do get that kind of sort of like, I wouldn't buy this for myself, but they can get it for me. And you do get that kind of little bit of a surprise, but you're also going to get something you want. And you can get the things that you can afford, or maybe necessarily you can afford to buy all these things, but it's nice to get gifts once in a while because that's the weird spot. It's like we're just exchanging money at this point a lot of times, especially when you're doing like gift cards. It's just like I could have just bought this for myself. I appreciate it, but honestly, I would either go what we're doing now or only like gifts under like $20. So they have to be incredibly thoughtful for them to be good, as opposed to spending money on things because again, every situation is different. But I think, when you're in your 30s, most of the time you can just buy what you want.
100%. And I mean, that's kind of the issue. But at the same time, like thoughtful gifts are the only ones that like matter when you're this age. Because you're right. It's like the things that I really want, I would purchase. And if I haven't purchased them yet, it's too much for a friend to be buying me for Christmas. So, yeah, you got to do something like thoughtful or funny, right? Like this was kind of a gag gift from my dad. He did think I thought I looked good in it. He thought I looked good in this silly little leather cowboy hat. And when I left the area where it was when we were in San Diego earlier this year, he went back to the store and bought it in plans for Christmas. So it was like, that was a really thoughtful thing. And then it's funny because I got the box very early in the gift exchange and he's like, hold on to that one. Just put that aside. Wait till like it's your last present. I was like, okay, Dad.
Is it a Nintendo?
I thought it was going to be one of those big ball caps, like the one that I purchased, the bigger one.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. So it was a pleasant surprise when I opened it up and found it was a leather cowboy cap.
And we referenced this yesterday, and your dad got it for you because he thinks you look like Casey from Yellowstone when you wear the hat. So Matt's also do a little cosplay on Christmas, a little Halloween time for Matt Hamilton. But the other part of it, like, no deny, you look good. The hat looks good on you. You got a big enough head to pull it off. And I would say the only question I have is just the when. When are you going to wear it?
Into the studio on Monday. Into the studio on Tuesday.
True.
I just couldn't start wearing it, just so you can be like, yeah. I guess he's just a cowboy hat guy now.
I will shame you into it because like that's the thing. Because otherwise, like again, I've said before, I would rent that hat. Like if I could, wear it a couple times a year, great. Otherwise, now again, there's no time limit. That's a nice hat. It'll last a long time. But it's just a matter of like the regular use. Now you're an Olympian with some sort of, some flair to you. So realistically, you could do it as like an Olympic out, like you're a cowboy American going to wherever the Olympics are next year, Italy. Yeah, and you could just be a cowboy and wear your dunks on the ice and your cowboy hat coming up to the actual event. Like that to me would get the most bang for the buck. So that is my advice to you, Matt, is that if you just lean into American cowboy. And even though I think you said that yesterday you haven't ridden a horse in probably a decade, just lean into American Cowboy, and I think that will help. The hat will pay for itself. Maybe you'll get a hat endorsement out of it. I mean,
that'd be nice.
Cowboy Matt Hamilton. I have to imagine. Freedom is the only way. I have to imagine that cowboy hats are worn at Dallas Cowboy games. And that could be an annoying fan thing that if you're just from the opposing fan base that you're dropping in and you got this big, stupid cowboy hat in front of you, it might be obnoxious. And we got a rivalry game coming up because that's what I was trying to get to, that it is the Friday before a big Packers game. I'm still debating how big it is because similar to the Saints game, the Packers aren't going to do anything to Minnesota to make me think that they are the favorite to go to the Super Bowl. My thoughts on the Packers right now are in the NFC, they are a team that is capable of beating anyone and making a run, but they're also a team that's capable of losing to anyone. And it also just speaks to the NFC is very congested. I do think Detroit and Philadelphia, Detroit being the best, Philadelphia being slightly better, are the top two teams. And then Green Bay and Minnesota in that next tier. But I don't think there's a major drop-off from Green Bay and Minnesota to Detroit or Detroit to those teams, nor do I think there's a massive drop-off between Green Bay, Minnesota to, let's say, the Rams. Now, I think the Bucks and Washington, if that's what ends up, or Atlanta and Washington, those teams seem pretty far-fetched as far as getting to the Super Bowl, but they could steal a game. So I look at there's 4 teams that have a legitimate chance of going to the Super Bowl from the NFC, and the Packers are one of them. And if they beat the Vikings, that's not going to change, obviously. And if they lose to the Vikings, that's not going to change either unless they just get like boat race, which isn't going to happen. So like that's kind of where I'm at right now with this game. But I want to ask a few questions out there. Minnesota has fan traditions that I'm sure Packer fans find annoying, but their fans love. I know Packer fans have traditions that other fan bases find annoying, but Packers fans love. So I want people to chime in and be honest, but not so much on the Packers, but on opposing teams like 844-770-3776. What's the most annoying thing that opposing fan bases do? You can lean on the Vikings, you can lean on the Bears, but just remember, I'm an opposing fan base here in Wisconsin, and I can call you out on a lot of things that you might be upset about that you do as well. That's one little bit of information I will share. So don't get all high and mighty on me, because my stance on fan bases is, for the most part, they're all the same. Some are just maybe a little bit edgier than others. Some might be a little bit snarkier. Some might be a little bit nicer. But to me, Matt, all fan bases are the same. They love what they love, and they love to dunk on other people, and they act like and they all like to sniff their own farts. That only what they do is cool, and that what everyone else does is bad, even though everyone's doing the same thing.
I mean, yeah, that's part of being a fan. Everything we're doing is good. Everything you're doing is copying us or trying to be cool too, obviously. And
Jeremiah in Madison gets it. He chimes in with, and you can chime in on this, 844-770-3776. He chimes in with he gets it completely, Matt. He says that bleeping horn in Minnesota, Tampa Bay's canon, and then he says, ours is great, though, the Lambeau Leap. Jeremiah, you get it. Amazing. Perfect. So I actually think the leap is not on my list. I have no problem with the leap.
Yeah, because I don't think they're the same. The horn in Minnesota blows every first down. Now, I hate them.
To the
the Panthers have it, but the Badgers have 1st and 10 Wisconsin, and I love that. I love that. So
wait, don't the Packers do go Pack go on every first down?
I don't think they do any.
No, not on every first down.
Okay.
No,
okay. The last game I was at
where I like to think we have a little bit of class and don't need to cheer.
Go ask Antonio Freeman about his, doing his dances every first down. Again, don't bring it to me because I will bring you the counter.
No,
right?
Here's the only time it's okay that I'm being redundant here or contradictory is with the Badgers first down. It's the first down celebrations by the stadium that bother me, unless it's the Badgers. It's different because collectively as a crowd, we're all saying it's like a crowd thing rather than we're playing a horn or any cat team's we're going to do a cat sound. You know what I mean?
I like the cat sound though. The
first down. Yeah,
but I don't like that. Again, everyone has their own thing. I like 1st and 10 Wisconsin, but at the same time, and this has been a long time since it's happened, Matt. When the Badgers are beating the snot out of a team, I'm having a hard time remembering that. But when they do, I'm like, okay, I got it. We got it. You're up 55-0. It's first down. Let's just move on. Can we bring in a guest 1st and 10 Wisconsin guy now? Bring in a kid to do it?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And what the Packers do on first downs is that's another Green Bay Packers, and then everybody goes, first down, which a good example of that would be if you go to a Minnesota Golden Gophers game, the chant that they do is that's another Golden Gopher. First, that's the exact same thing. But when you do it in the Packers game, it's fun to get in on the action. When you go to a Golden Gophers game, you're like, oh, God, this is annoying. And it's the exact same chant. So, I understand where you're coming from, Jim.
Yes. It is. But
to be honest,
that
not
Golden
Gopher one's dumb. That Golden Gopher one's dumb. To be fully honest, that's dumb. That one's dumb.
The horn though, there's no fan inclusion with that. There's just the stadium saying this is the thing we're gonna do now. Right?
Yes. So the horn is another one from Minnesota. And I think the history for that is it was done a long time ago and it was brought back. I don't hate that. I believe the Bengals play bang on the drum as well, and I think that's dumb because I assume it's Packers first. If the Packers stole it from the Bengals, then that's dumb too. Whoever stole it from the other one, you just gotta let it go. Why would you take someone else's? I understand I don't love the Lambeau Field does the jump around. It's not the crowd for it,
right?
And I get that it's a great Wisconsin tradition, but it always just feels exactly how you think it would feel. It's like Parents' Night or Parents' Weekend at Camp Randall. All the olds come through, all the parents come through, and they're like, "We're gonna do our jumper," and it's just not. You're forcing it. You get what I'm saying, Matt?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like a cover of a cover, and Green Bay's got a lot of things going on at the game. I could definitely leave off the forced jump around because nobody actually jumps. It's never really and then it just kind of feels anticlimactic.
How many teams out there have a drum too? They have a way giant drum. They all hit the drum. I'm kind of spent on the drum too.
Again, 844-770-3776. We're chiming in with the most annoying fan traditions. And it's really what gets under your skin because my philosophy on this is that all fan bases are the same. And we all love to dunk on everyone else's fan. But let's be honest, we all have our annoying traditions as well. Matt did a good job with the 1st and 10 Wisconsin. We can love it, but you also could see how other people would be like, ugh. Honestly, when the Badgers have been bad the last 2 years for football, the jump around works against them. It's honestly humiliating at this point.
The other team's getting into it.
The other team is making a bigger deal out of it, and they're more it's literally jumping on your grave. So hopefully the Badgers get that turned back around because it's honestly a little bit embarrassing. But you can try, right? I mean, I'm just being honest. It can work against you. It's just like if the player beats the Packers and they jump in and they do the Lambeau leap, or when that on it. So when the Packers are good, it's like, oh, it's all fun and games. We'll have a little fun. Oh, get out of here, guy. If the Packers are having a tough season or a bad game, that's when the beer comes in and everyone's a little bit more upset. It's not quite as fun when your team is actually not playing well. That's rare for the Packers, but those sorts of things chime in. But I also want to get to this, and then Matt, you're going to tell us about Metcalf's Market. I also want to get what the feeling is or what the dislike is between Packer fans and Viking fans. Because from the outside looking in, you guys are cousins. You're a very friendly fan base. I'm going to call this the Ope rivalry. Oops, I didn't see you there. I mean, it is two fan bases that are remarkably similar. They're in the north. I don't know how much they seem like they're parallel. Minnesota is a much larger city than Green Bay, but like Detroit and Chicago are big city, gritty, like massive international places. In Minneapolis, I'm not crapping on Minneapolis, and we can't pretend that Green Bay is an international place. So
place of culture.
So Green Bay and Minnesota just have, and again, it doesn't fit as much for Minnesota, but they still have that feel to them, that small market. Our fans are just happy to have a team that is good, and we're going to go out there and we're going to support our team. We're going to blow our horn and wear our cheese heads and put horns on our head and do our chants. And like, to me, you guys are the same, like your cousins. And so I understand you can be mad at your cousins, but the fan bases are the same group of people rooting for different laundry. You guys have a lot in common, and I'm just curious if you guys feel the same. That's not a bad thing. Maybe that breeds more contempt, because it's just a different feel between specifically Chicago. There's that big city. What do you think, you're better than me sort of attitude with like Green Bay and Chicago when it comes to the actual city, not the sports. Obviously, Wisconsin sports are better. But Minnesota, I'm curious, like what's the hate? Like, what is it? Or is there any? We'll take your calls on that as well. 844-770-3776. Matt, you get to talk about Tosa and Metcalf's in Tosa while you're on the radio in Tosa.
Yeah, and
actually, Jim, before you do this, Matt, I want the callers to chime in on this, because I have a stickler. One, Matt and I are not, I would say, the best orders, and Wauwatosa, I think we both sound like little children going wah, wah, wah. So Wauwatosa is not my favorite word to say because of the wah, wah part. So I've always, and I grew up in Cedarburg, I've just referred to Wauwatosa as Tosa. I think that is what you refer to Tosa as a Wisconsinite. Matt leans into the wah, wah. So is it Wauwatosa or is it Tosa? Oh, go ahead, Matt.
While our listeners stew on that question, I've been stewing up some delicious Piedmontese beef from Metcalf's Market. You can only get that Italian certified Piedmontese beef at Metcalf's Market in Wauwatosa, in Hilldale, and over by West Town Mall on the west side of Madison. And don't just go for that Piedmontese beef. Their produce section is outrageous. The specialty cheeses from far and wide, and also from local right here in Wisconsin, you can't go wrong. Huge liquor selection, and the best part about Metcalf's Market is being a Metcalf's Rewards member. There's thousands of coupons every single day, ways for you to save money. So if you want to eat fresh and eat local, go to Metcalf's Market and bring local home.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly in for KBN. We have you till 5.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin like Jerry's Place, the Nitty Gritty in Sun Prairie, Whatever Bar, and Sportsman Bar and Grill.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Hi, this is Dennis Semrau from Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania here on 100.5 ESPN. We're very excited to partner with UW Credit Union to help bring you even closer to the stories of great young student athletes. Each week, as part of this season of Prep Mania, will feature the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. UW Credit Union is proud to support local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. And just like the fantastic student athletes we'll be telling you about all season, UW Credit Union's online banking also goes above and beyond with top-rated service and security that exceeds industry standards. UW Credit Union is here for you, presenting the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Get ready to haul away big savings with Fleet Farm's end-of-year bucket sale. Just pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket in-store for $3.99. Fill it up with whatever you can fit inside and save 15% on everything in your bucket, including clearance. But hurry, our bucket sale's 4 days only, December 26th through the 29th. So bucket up and save while you can at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Oh, well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
When I see the connection, though I see, I don't stare. Though I see, I don't stare. When I'm lost in my reflection, though I see, I don't stare. Though I see, I don't stare. Then I change my direction.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues. We are in for KBN. He is Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Matt Hamilton is up north in Wisconsin. I am in Madison. Jesse Nelson is at the Everlight Solar Studio. Spread out for the holiday, but hey, at least we're working. KBN fellows are off, and so we have you 2 until 5 because everyone knows Matt Hamilton, the hardest working man at ESPN Wisconsin. Jesse Nelson might hold that title. Jesse was ill yesterday and did a good job producing the show. We call it the flu game, even though it necessarily doesn't have the flu. Our regular producer, Primetime Wollersheim, out with the actual flu. But Jesse, you're feeling better today.
You look better.
I'm feeling better. I might sound worse, but yes, definitely feeling better.
You look a lot better. You looked like hell yesterday.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Matt.
I'm sure it was the camera or something, but you look terrible.
Thought I was actually having a good day yesterday. No. Yeah, it basically came down to who's less sick, me or Ryan. And when I talked to Ryan, I'll spare you the details, but I was less sick. So I got the draw to come in and produce for you guys this afternoon. So happy to be here.
Well, lucky you. Thank you, Jesse. Because Matt, we still do need a producer. We have to have someone run the board and hop in and make sure that we're on time and trying to do some sort of a show.
I thought Matt might have been capable of doing it, but unfortunately he was out of town. So I guess he wasn't going to make it back in time to be able to run the board for you guys this afternoon.
I'm going to make a bold statement, and it's no disrespect to Matt, but Jesse, you're a bowler. Maybe not as good as Ben Brust. Maybe I can't remember how that went. But
I think you remember exactly how that went.
I think that you would do better trying to curl than Matt Hamilton trying to produce a radio show. Just cold. Like you just went in.
I think that's an accurate statement.
Wow.
I think both of you would be pretty horrible at it, but
there's just a lot more. I think, yeah, there's so much more going on the board that like essentials, like turn on a mic. I just don't know how to do that.
Like I would know where to start with throwing a stone down the sheet of ice. Like I could at least figure out like where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, Matt, you couldn't get us out of national programming, so forget
Which,
the rest
honestly,
of it.
if I had it in national programming, I'd be like, "This is a win, guys. There's something playing." I'd just leave it. I'd just be like, "Take the day."
You can chime in on that 844-770-3776. Who would be more successful, Jesse Nelson curling or Matt Hamilton as producer of Wilde and Tausch? You can chime in on that. We're also asking you, what is I couldn't imagine Matt having to produce for Jason and Mark. It would be fun to be the fly on the wall in that situation. But we are also asking you, what's something from an opposing fan base that annoys you? You can chime in on that 844-770-3776 because the Packers play the Vikings. It is the late afternoon game. It is the big game on Sunday. It means a lot it could mean a lot for playoff positioning. If the Packers lose, then they are essentially locked into the 6th seed. There's a chance they get the 7th seed. I doubt that happens. If they win, they do have not control of their destiny because if Minnesota beats Detroit, and I don't know what Detroit will be putting out there that last game, Minnesota could still hold on to that 5 seed. So this is not a heavily weighted game as far as the outcome mattering a ton, but I do think it's most important for the players, Matt, their confidence. Not that this team isn't a confident group, but when you run down their victories, it's not – they've been beating either non-playoff teams or fringe playoff teams. And to go beat a team in Minnesota that looks like their peer, I think would be very beneficial for the Packers. And obviously they almost did it to Detroit, but this is not horseshoes and this is not hand grenades. Close. Like the Packers are too good for moral victories. So I'm not gonna, you can't go into the playoffs with a moral victory. You can't go into the playoffs and say, hey, yeah, we were swept by Minnesota and swept by Detroit, but hey, we only lost by 3 the last time we played Detroit, and we only lost by 3 to Minnesota the last time we played them. Gee golly, we're good. I mean, we beat the Texans, who might not make the playoffs. Like, you can't go in, the Packers are too good for that. You had too high of expectations. At the same time, I'm not going to say the Packers are moving. I had the Packers and the Vikings as peers, and nothing that happens on Sunday outside of a dramatic injury was going to change that, good or bad, for either team.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, so right now, where would you put the Packers in the NFC as far as just
3A, 3B, 3A, 3B, right there with Minnesota? And
but
I would put Detroit.
Like, could you, like, if you had to give it a number, not like A or B, like, where are you putting Minnesota and where are you putting Green Bay?
As of today, I guess Minnesota, because they won. Right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, the Packers get a win here. Say it's a good win, 7 points.
Yep.
I ask you the same question. Rank the top 4 teams in the NFC. Like, do you lean Packers at that point because they got the bigger spread and differential? Or are you like, oh, they're totally even? Because here's the thing. Here's part of the reasons I say this. One, I'm totally going to sell it to myself. If we lose to Minnesota, it's like, well, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So, like, we're in good shape against Minnesota and Detroit. We gave them those wins when it didn't matter as much because, you know, playoff wins are where it really matters. So that's how I'll sell it to myself.
Yeah, losing 9 out of 10 to Detroit won't matter. Or 8 out of 9 to Detroit won't matter. No.
Exactly. As long as that the 10th or the 11th one is in the playoffs.
Right.
That's how it works. That win. That's all that matters.
Hey, as a Bears fan, the Packers can't beat the Bears 30 times in a row, can they?
That's what you'd think, and that's how I feel. So that just the same thing. We have the same color or same issues, just different laundry.
Yeah.
But that said, against the Vikings right now, like, I do think this is the Packers' chance to show that they might be on their own little echelon. We played the Vikings. Jordan Love was coming off an injury. We didn't have our best week. Now we have a chance to play them again. We can show them that we're not 1A, 1B in that tier right behind Detroit. Like, we might be just a shade behind Detroit and the Eagles, but we have put distance between us and Minnesota. And I think a convincing win could do that to this weekend.
Right. But again, I guess, Matt, my whole point is, and it has to fall with where we're at in the season. Mm-hmm. All that is just optics right now. It's just for the fans. Because the Packers, to me, if these teams play again, regardless of what happens, if they play again, I'm still going to call it a pick 'em. And so that's why nothing really changes.
Assuming it's not a beatdown.
Like, no, even if it's a beatdown.
If the Packers go and just rout the Vikings this weekend, do you think in the next time when they play in the playoffs, you're like, I think it's a pick 'em? You're not going to favor the Packers?
Maybe by 3. I'd reverse it too. If the Vikings kick the snot out of the Packers again, I'm not going to change.
I would assume that you wouldn't be a pick 'em. I would still think the Vikings would be favored. I just think you're right. There's not a lot on the line as far as like, you're probably not going to adjust your playoff seeding very much unless you get another clunker out of Minnesota. It's kind of just like a field game. See where you're at against another playoff caliber team.
Without a doubt. I just think that they are right there with Minnesota, and beating Minnesota doesn't make them better than Philadelphia or Detroit in my mind. 844-770.
It makes us better than Minnesotans. That's all I want.
Well, you split. 844-770-3776. Let's get out to Mike and Racine.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Thanks for calling.
Sir. All right. So, being a Packer owner, the thing that irritates me the most, I understand, each team has their traditions and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. I hate it when the Minnesota Vikings come to Lambeau Field and they do that skull chant.
Okay.
Just boils me.
Well, go ahead.
That was it.
Okay, I'll say, are you more upset that Packer fans, are you obviously not going to not allow it to happen, but don't try to shout it down, or are you upset that Minnesota fans come and do it? Are you I was going to ask.
I mean, I'm upset that there's so many Minnesota fans in Lambeau Field. And it's loud, it's annoying, and I season tickets, and they're all around me.
Yeah.
How do you shut it down without giving them a black eye?
Well, you could shout it down. You could shout it down, Mike. Thanks for the call. We're not advocating
punch them down.
Black eyes. 844-770-37.
I think there's a lot of options to do there besides that. Yeah.
You know what? I think that he makes a very good point. At the next owners meeting, me and him should mention something. Fellow owner,
I don't think I even have to say what's on my list. You guys can all take your pieces of paper to the owners meeting, take it to the bathroom, and they won't lose any value.
Yeah,
we have Mark Tauscher.
You want to tell me that we're like all the other fan bases? No, we're better because we own our team, unlike any other fan base out there.
Yeah. That stock's worth less than Cole's cash. But hey,
NFL teams with fight songs was going to be your complaint, right, Jim?
NFL teams that make whole songs about how they dislike another team could be on my list as well. You can go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. We have Mark Tauscher joining the show, so we're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back, and we'll be joined by Mark Tauscher, Jason Wilde's friend.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Unwrap exceptional offers during the Season of Audi sales event. Get financing as low as 1.9% APR on select new 2024 Audi models. Save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus and an additional $1,500 with the Season of Audi customer credit. Offer subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends January 2nd. You'll find an excellent selection of new and certified pre-owned Audis at Audi Madison. Check out AudiMadison.com or stop in and test drive at Audi Madison today. Off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And again, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
In fact, there aren't any quarterbacks on campus. So they're going to come in with whoever else we sign, and they're starting on the same level. They're not coming in against somebody that knows the playbook. And I'm sure the coaches are telling them, we're going to play the best guy. So if you're not afraid to compete, come on in.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Adopting a teen was more fulfilling and rewarding than we ever thought it would be. We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
When I jumped off, I had a bucket full of thoughts. When I first jumped off, I held that bucket in my hand. Ideas that would take me all around the world. I stood and watched the smoke behind a mountain curl. It took me a long time to get back on the train. Now I'm gone and I'll never look.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are taking over for KBN. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Jesse Nelson is live at the Everlight Solar Studio. I cannot get the equipment to work exactly how I want it to work, so I'm just, if you're watching, I'm not talking on the phone to someone else. I'm doing a radio show. And
Doesn't look like it.
That's just how the show is going to go. You can get into the show 844-770-3776. And we are going to be joined by Mark Tauscher, and I'm just going to have to, because there's no other way to do it. Jesse, are you telling me that I am taking a break before Mark, or are we going to Mark?
Yep, we're going to take another quick break and then talk to Tausch.
Okay, I heard something like, break Mark, and I was like, I'm going to have to ask him on the air, Matt Hamilton. So that's why you could not be a producer. We are asking that question, 844-770-3776. Who would, we can post this at Jim, Matt, and Molly if Jesse has access to our social media.
I do have it posted up there.
All right, great. So we can ask that question. Who would be, look, Jesse's kind of running away with it at this point. Matt Hamilton, who would be better at the opposite's job? Matt Hamilton as Wilde and Tao's producer, or Jesse Nelson as a curler? 844-770-3776.
Which, if people are voting for Matt, they're really just voting against me, and that's almost more hurtful than if the people are voting for me. So there's no win here for me, really.
Well, right now it is 75% people are saying Jesse curling.
Yeah. So. I mean, here's the thing. I think you'd make it out there, but say your show, 3 hours long, my curling match, about 3 hours long. I think there's a better shot you injure yourself to the point where you cannot continue the game, where I'm pretty sure I could at least push buttons until the end of my 3 hour window.
75% is actually a very embarrassing number for me, because that means 25% of people think I would be so unathletic that I couldn't even get close to throwing a stone. And Matt, who has admittedly no idea what he would be doing back here, would still be better at that than I would be trying to curl.
I mean, how long let's assume show prep counts. Like, if I have a half-hour show prep,
it counts.
That's how long I got to look at the buttons and learn how it goes. And you get the same 30 minutes of, like, let's say, a practice. I think I could at least run the show. I think at 30 minutes of practice, just turn it on and off to commercial, hit a couple sliders. I think I can do it.
Well, you can chime in on that 844-770-3776. We'll ask Mark Tauscher about that coming up next. But I do want to tell you about Simmons Chevy in Mount Horeb. Look, the roads are kind of a mess. And look, wherever you are in Wisconsin, it's really not that far to get anywhere. The tag normally here in Madison is you're only minutes away from better buying experience. But really, you can have that better buying experience anywhere. My understanding is I think they have one of these left. They had 4, but they have a E Silverado. It is a truck that truck people dream of. It is an e-truck. It has like 400 miles charge on that. You can get that charge put in for Matt Hamilton remembers. You can put the charger in at home, and this truck, like the one that I saw, all black everything. It was like the Johnny Cash truck, the black rims. My favorite part was the E in the Silverado is like an electric blue tint around the E, but it's written obviously in black. So whether it is the aesthetics of the truck or the actual truckness of a truck, and Matt loves when I say this truck is actually a truck, unlike cyber trucks. This truck will do truck things. This truck will pull your broke down cyber truck. That's why I can sell it to you. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simmons Chevy in Mount Horeb. Yeah, we got Mark Tauscher coming up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Wisconsin men's basketball off through the new year. They'll have Iowa to tip off 2025. Senior Max Klusman on the team's identity moving into conference play, believing they can hang with the best of the best.
I don't think we wow anybody athletically, or maybe not pass the eye test, as some would like to say. At the end of the day, you got a whole group of 17 guys that are going to come out compete at a really high level, and we're going to, swing the hardest we can swing each and every night. We're going to try to make your life difficult. We're going to, come at you, keep coming at you, throwing haymakers, and, we're relentless and we just won't give up.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. HellaWI.com.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get ready to haul away big savings with Fleet Farm's end-of-year bucket sale. Just pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket in-store for $3.99. Fill it up with whatever you can fit inside and save 15% on everything in your bucket, including clearance. But hurry, our bucket sale's 4 days only, December 26th through the 29th. So bucket up and save while you can at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
For a truck that gets the job done, drive a 2024 Chevrolet Silverado EV work truck from Zimbrick Chevrolet. 393-mile range, over 12,000-pound towing capacity, 510 horsepower. Save $12,500 with 0% APR for 60 months to well-qualified buyers through GM Financial. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per $1,000 financed. Offer ends January 2nd. Zimbrick Chevrolet, East Madison, Sun Prairie, and ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
What did you call yourself, Thundercat? Well, I appreciate it, Thunder.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are filling in for KBN because we all know that Matt Hamilton is the hardest working man at ESPN Wisconsin. Molly Brown, she is out with babies, so she has a good excuse. She'll be back in March. If you are new to the show, Molly Brown, our co-host on the show, she had twins just about a month ago. I think the 29th was the date. It's November 29th, so just short of a month ago. She had twin babies, one boy, one girl. So Molly has an excuse to be out. I don't know why KBN is out, but Mark Tauscher is working and he's calling in. And Mark, we have an important question before we get to Packers Vikings stuff. Is that we were worried that we weren't going to have a producer for today's show. And Jesse joked that, maybe Matt Hamilton could pull it off if he was in town. Now, Matt's not in town. Matt's on the show, but just he's up north. Who do you think would be more successful, Jesse Nelson as a curler or Matt Hamilton as producer of Wilde and Tausch?
Oh, wow. Well, the fact that Hambone takes, 3.5 years off and just shows up and wins a gold medal or a bronze medal, or I guess Jesse says fourth place a lot. I think this is going to be bad. I think Jesse is a curler. I know that's going to sound crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Hambone, if you threw him back there, are you on air? Will you ever be on air?
No.
You might never get off the air if you are on.
Jesse could luck into an okay curling shot. Matt couldn't luck to getting this on the air.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I
You don't
agree.
think so?
I think
You might be right. I think you're probably right.
I also would think, and I've curled a few times, I would also think there's no way Jesse's coming out of that without completely yanking a groin or a calf or something else. Both things can be true, but I think Jesse could dumb into it more than Matt could.
Matt, I know you love asking our poll questions, so do you want to ask the fan-based poll question to Mark? As a player, he probably has an interesting answer for you.
Yeah, that is true. Mark, what do you think the most annoying fan, or you want to call it fan tradition, Jim?
However you want to call it, a fan base does. Whatever, most annoying thing that an opposing fan base does.
Okay, well, what are the choices?
Well, we don't have any choices.
It started with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Matt threw out the skull chant and the horn and those sorts of things. So it's
actually, I don't mind the skull chant as
Yeah.
much. I don't like the horn every first down.
So skull's super annoying, but I'll be honest with you, the roar of the Nittany Lion at Penn State when they do that dumb thing every time, and we got boat raced when we went up to Penn State back when I played, so I just remember that little roar, and it almost sounded like the speaker system was going out, but you knew that's not what was happening. Skull will definitely be at the top of the list, but I think Penn State's not that far behind.
So did they play that after a first down?
It seemed like it was that. I mean, they scored a bunch of points, if my memory serves. I think it was touchdowns. You got the pirate ship in Tampa was always kind of annoying, where they'd shoot off the cat. In all honesty, it all just depends how things are going. I think Ohio State did something annoying, but we ended up boat racing them, so it was kind of fun. And all these places have little things, and if you're getting your head beat in, Fly Eagles Fly is annoying. The Miami Dolphins theme songs, all of it's annoying. Skull's at the top of the list. I think part of it is just because it's Minnesota, but they all do it. And if you're getting your head beat in, it just is a constant reminder that maybe the day just isn't going the way you're hoping.
I mean,
so
it's true.
Mark, with this game coming up, I kind of have the Packers and the Vikings in the same category as two teams that are fully capable of going to the Super Bowl. They're one of four total. I have Detroit, Philadelphia, and then I have Minnesota and Green Bay as kind of peers in any one of those four teams, but in that order, you could flip Minnesota and Green Bay for all I care. But in that order, those are the teams that I kind of feel like have the best shot and really the only shot to truly go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. And barring a major injury in this game, whether the Packers win or lose this game, my opinion is not going to change dramatically, because if these two teams played again in the playoffs, I'd still probably call it a coin flip. So I am curious to see a measuring stick for the Packers, because they're too good of a franchise to say, hey, we almost beat Detroit and we almost beat Minnesota. So they're too good of a franchise to be swept by those two teams. But at the same time, if they were, I don't have the Packers going anything lower than being a peer with Minnesota, regardless of what happens in this game.
I hate doing this, but I agree with you. I just don't think this game on Sunday, it's going to be really fun to watch and to kind of see because I think Green Bay is playing as good a football as anybody in the NFL, and I include Kansas City even with their last couple of weeks. And you could say, well, Kansas City has played tougher teams, and I'm not going to argue with you on that because it would be just foolish. But Green Bay is looking really good. Minnesota's playing good. I would say this. I think your tiered system is exactly where I would put it. I put Philly and Detroit in that, because if you're in that 5 or 6 spot, which unless, if Minnesota beats us and beats Detroit, they'll be the 1 seed. And if they're the 1 seed, that all of a sudden changes the whole dynamic. And then I would say Green Bay and Detroit are in the same category. Minnesota deserves to jump up, where Green Bay can't really jump up a tier because they're more than likely going to have to win 3 road games to get there. And that is a huge slog to go. And I think this is going to be more just, I think, from a fan base standpoint, psychological, because I think if Green Bay goes up and Minnesota beats us 34-31 and it's a high-scoring game, I don't envision everybody in that locker room saying, oh, it's just not our year. We can't beat Minnesota, Detroit, or Philly. It's just not the reality of it. Now, the fans could say, well, we haven't beat any of those teams who had 5 cracks at it, and we're 0-5, and you'd be 100% right. But that doesn't mean that's how it will play in the playoffs, and I guarantee you that the Packers locker room will feel like, regardless of who they play, that they can win. It's just that road gets so much more difficult, and your margin for error drops when you have to go on the road and try to win 3 playoff games.
Tausch, we got into a little bit of a discussion, a little bit of a kerfuffle, if you will, yesterday. The Packers had their game flexed potentially to a Saturday against the Bears, right?
Yep. That's the last game they have.
And also on the flip side, the Packers played Monday night. The Vikings played Sunday, and now they have a Sunday game coming up. How much is 24 hours difference in like rest time make a difference, or like a 1 day longer in a week? Is that substantial, or is it something that's like not that big a deal?
I don't think it's a monster deal. Obviously, you want to have as much rest, and you want both teams to be on an equal playing surface. That's just not, at this time of the year, that's not really where we're at. But if Green Bay goes up to Minnesota and we don't win, it's not going to be because, well, we played on Monday and they played on Sunday. It's definitely a small advantage, but I just don't envision, the fact that it's not as if they played Sunday, we played Monday, and then the game was on Thursday. That, to me, with that shorter turnaround,
right,
both teams are going to get a full week of preparing to what they're doing. And the fact that the Packer game was as easy, relatively speaking, as it was Monday night, a lot of guys got to rest in the fourth quarter. I don't think that's going to have any impact at all on what happens Sunday.
Right. Looking at the Packers big picture, as you look at Detroit and both their coordinators are being sought after as possible head coach opportunities, and Minnesota, Flores, who's what coach once before, someone whose name's floating out there. How long do you think it's this season? Do you think it's next season? Obviously, the Flores doing a great job, but how long do you think it's going to go before he starts creating a tree of his own of successful head coaches? Because Hackett and Getsy haven't done well since they've left Green Bay. But in general, do you think LaFleur is going to start building a tree in the next year or two? Because everyone else who's successful in the division, people are coming for their coordinators.
I guess the question is, do we want that to be the case? And I would say yes. I think you want to have guys that grow and want to become head coaches, because that means they're ambitious. And, whether it's going to be Steno from on the offensive side or Jeff Hafley, and if this defense keeps going, he's obviously already been a head coach at college. I would hope that that's the case. And I know it's always great to kind of – you always want both your own program to keep growing, and a lot of times that is by changing and doing something different. But you want these guys to have a ton of success, because that typically means you've won at a high level, and other teams are looking at, well, how are they doing it, and how can we bring that to where we are? So I think, I don't think it's going to be an Andy Reid situation or, Sean McVay. There's a lot of coaches that have really had that tree. I think Green Bay is just starting, because Matt LaFleur is hired as such a young guy and is kind of just getting his teeth into what he's doing as far as with the Jordan Love part of this in comparison to Rodgers. But I think it'd be great if Jeff Hafley and Adam Stenovich in a few years get that opportunity to go on and be a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, that means we're doing something right. They don't hire losers. So that would be a
some
great
franchises
problem to have.
do. Some franchises do.
I'm not even going to take any pot shots. Jim, what do you think of this idea? And I put this on Wilde and Tausch this morning.
Yeah.
If you're the Bears and you watched that debacle last night, why not offer a first-round pick to let Goody just run the whole place?
Yeah, I mean, I would offer whatever. Yeah, Goody, or, I mean, I would trade for Shanahan. Like, obviously, I'll say this, Green Bay Packers, you look what's successful about them. They have a quarterback again. But, look, I do think there's enough in Caleb that shows that if you don't screw it up, which the Bears probably will, there's enough there to build off of this year. but they don't have an offensive line. They don't have a running game. They don't have a head coach, and they don't have organizational structure. And those are all the other things that the Packers have, and they all go together. So even when you got one, this is the foolishness that Bears fans didn't realize because we've never had a quarterback. You can have a talented quarterback who has promise, who looks like he could be good, but if you don't do anything, if you have a poor organizational structure, poor head coaching, poor offensive line because you don't have a proper GM and no running game, I don't care who's back there, they're going to have a tough year. So, yes, I would trade anything for anyone proven, whether it's Goody, LaFleur, Shanahan, McVay, any of those guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very refreshing, Jim, that you're understanding where that scenario is down there. When you want to say it wasn't even that long ago, kind of had the Bears on equal footing or very close to the rest of this division. So it's good that I guess the Christmas spirit has arisen. You watched that debacle last night and understand. I just think it's a fascinating dynamic, and it won't happen, and the Packers shouldn't let it happen, and they won't. But if I'm the Chicago Bears, I would be thinking long and hard about doing something big like that.
Yeah, they're chanting "sell the team," so they have to figure out something.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna happen.
Weird,
right? Not as long as Virginia is there. So, yeah, that's not gonna happen as long as Virginia is there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So for the actual game of teams that are good, because look, you can look at Detroit and their owner said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to let Spielman come in and advise his team. We'll bring in better coaches and we'll fix the team." Minnesota has brought in O'Connell and they've resurrected Darnold, and things are looking good for them. Green Bay's obviously been on a long streak for a long time, but Minnesota's one of those teams where I've always said this: you are a joke and you are a laughing stock, and you are the team that everyone's going to assume is going to fail until you aren't that team anymore. So this game for Minnesota probably means maybe more to them for the idea that they need to beat Green Bay a little bit there, just for their fans' purposes of like, hey, you know what? This isn't the unbeatable monster that Green Bay has been. Maybe we're not the team that always chokes. So what do you think is going to happen in this game? Score prediction. And I mean, do you agree with me that this game is really big for Minnesota?
I think it's huge for Minnesota. And I think for a couple of reasons. Obviously, we already went over. They want to win the division and be the 1 seed. Green Bay, that is not an attainable goal anymore. So I think that is important. But there's also that psychological side of it from Minnesota's standpoint. And, the fact that Green Bay got them last year in this instance. But from the Packer, from a Packer standpoint, I think it's an important game to play well. Whether or not they win or lose, I don't think it's going to change their road playoff-wise that much. You really are looking at it, and you want to steer clear of that 7 seed just so you don't have to go through Philly, Detroit, or Philly, Minnesota, or however it shakes out. But you play the Bears next week, and we all saw what that looks like. I don't think there's any doubt that will be a win. And you get to 12-5, you're more than likely going to be the 6th seed. So that's where I think Green Bay secondary against this elite receiving core and tight end group, and I think Minnesota's O-line is going to be able to hold up. I think it's going to be an old-fashioned shootout. I love where Green Bay's offense is headed. I think they're going to have a really good day. And I think the fact that our special teams is solidified now, I think we win super late. I think Green Bay wins in a shootout 34-31.
There's nothing really to disagree with there. I do think it's going to come down to that last possession. I think, honestly, I think the Minnesota roster as a whole is better. I think Love's a little better than Darnold. LaFleur, I got to give him the nod as far as a coach, but I think these two teams are both really good teams and very equal teams. So a 34-31 that goes in the Packers' favor, I don't think is. I have Minnesota losing as well.
I mean, it's crazy too.
Dynamic too that we discussed all offseason that I think it's going to be fascinating to see play out. You have 2 studs in Addison and obviously Jefferson, probably the best receiver in the game, versus that ensemble cast. And if Christian Watson can't play, which if you're, Jason kind of feels like that's the way it's going, how that shakes itself out, it could, not that it'll indicate to what Goody is going to do, but I think from a fan base standpoint, it was an interesting argument all offseason. Do you want those two? Do you want the J.R. Ewing star of a big-time show, or do you want that ensemble cast and grow together? Sunday will give you a clear, stark difference in how that looks. And I'm guessing whichever team wins is more productive is the side of that argument most people are going to come down on.
I love the reference to Dallas show. Matt, do you want to explain to Mark your cowboy hat that you're wearing with some dazzling details? Maybe he did that as an homage to your cowboy hat.
Honestly, of all the other co-hosts here that I think would appreciate this hat, I think Mark is high on that list. Mark, I've got a nice leather cowboy Indiana Jones-esque, not quite your 10-gallon Stetson, but a cowboy-looking hat. I got it for Christmas. Jim doesn't love it, so
I just don't know when you're wearing it. That's all.
Tausch, would you ever wear a leather cowboyish hat out and about?
Well, I know the Guarding Against Cancer had a Western theme that I have a really nice cowboy hat, and I think that's the last time I wore a cowboy hat. So for as much as I love a good hat, I would probably say I would probably say no. But I love the fact you're confident enough to rock it. And anything to annoy Jimmy Rutledge, I'm always on board with.
Yeah, well, I think I'm just going to make this my thing now, at least when I'm at the studio, just so Jim can't ever tell me, like, oh, I don't know when you'd ever wear it. What a waste. It's like, no, I wear it all the time. Only when you're around. It's my
Good luck getting your headphones
over
over that, Matt. Good luck with that.
We're going earbuds from now on.
Mark, thanks for hopping on today and talking Packers Vikings.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. That is Mark Tauscher, brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Madison's custom jeweler, Madison's local jeweler, and you can go family-owned jeweler at Chalmers Jewelers. So check out Chalmers Jewelers for whatever your needs are: engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches. They brought some ball watches into the studio, the Everlight Solar Studio. They brought a Rolex into the Everlight Solar Studio. So wherever you're at, they sell some of those Rolexes online. You can give them a call. You can ask them about ball watches. They will bring those watches to you. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly filling in for KBN. We are presented by Coors Light.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hunter Vaughn here. Coming up after the holidays, our coverage of high school basketball will be in full swing. From rivalries to the postseason, we'll have some of the best teams and the top players from around the area right here on ESPN Madison. Along with listening to every game on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand, you can subscribe to the ESPN Madison YouTube page and watch every game live.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking, expert health care. Stoughton Health, trusted care close to home. Huge NFC North Division rivalry showdown Sunday afternoon in Minneapolis. The Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings square off. Adjusted kickoff time 3:25 on Sunday afternoon, nationally televised on Fox. The Packers listed as 1.5-point underdogs as of now, according to ESPN Bet. How important is this win for the Packers this weekend? ESPN's Rob Domofsky.
I asked Jordan yesterday, I said, look, you're combined 0-5 against the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings. How badly do you need to win against one of these good teams? And he did not hesitate, and he said badly. And he went on to say, we have one more chance this week, and we got to be able to win these games against the really good teams and set ourselves up for the situation we're going to be in the playoffs. And, of course, they're going to be a wild card team. They're going to have to go on the road.
ESPN's Rob Domofsky earlier today nationally on Greeny. You can also catch his conversation from Wilde and Tausch, available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special. Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
And then contrarian,
total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Mer.
I'm the flower, Mr.
Mister.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
I mean,
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly Brown. She's out with baby. She had twins about a month ago. So Molly will be back in March, which means she's not filling in. But Matt Hamilton, the show baby, is in. And he is rocking his leather cowboy hat. Rip and Rona chimed in. And he said, Matt, who cares what Jim thinks about the cowboy hat? I bet Paige would love it. Also packed by 1 million on Sunday. Matt, do you want to reference who Paige is?
No.
Tell the story, Matt Hamilton. Are you in a place where you don't want that story to be told?
No. I'm safe. I can blink twice. Paige is a golf influencer that a lot of you may know. And I was also wearing a ridiculous outfit when I met her. So the hat might fit. But
and she invited you for a photo. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you can find that.
Sure, invited me for a photo. Such like a weird way to say, hey, sir, would you like to come take a photo with me? Isn't that quite how it went down?
You were invited for a photo. That's exactly what happened.
Sure. I think it's close enough. It sounds, yeah. Okay.
It sounds the least nefarious. Now you're making it sound
a lot worse.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I was hanging out. She helped us get into the lounge at the Waste Management Open down in Arizona, and then before I left, I was like, we should grab a photo. And she's like, yeah, that's a good idea. It's not like I was like, come here, you're next in line, so come up here and have a photo with me and then move along.
If you would have said, like, yeah, she wanted to snap a few pics with me at the Waste Management Open, like, that would sound a little more nefarious than she invited me to take a photo. So I thought Jim set you up about as best he could there.
Oh,
but also,
I thought it felt like it was like I was standing in line to meet Paige Sporadic. You're next, young man.
Look, for all we know, that's what happened.
Oh, who's the little guy in the cowboy hat? Yeah.
She signed your hat for you, Matt. Like, the thing is,
it wasn't like a Make-A-Wish thing, Jim.
Jesse. But that's the problem, Matt. I set you up to tell a really cool, unique story, and you froze on it. The dazzling details were horrendous, and now you've left all this open space where Jesse and I can fill in the blanks however we want. In fact, what I would love, 844-770-3776, tell a story. Fill in the blanks for Matt Hamilton. Tell Matt Hamilton and Paige Sporadic's origin story. 844-770-3776. Because Matt could not properly fill in the details for whatever reason. It's a fun, cool story about being Matt Hamilton, and you just froze. You didn't freeze in the moment with Paige, but then you freeze on the air 6 months later. Goodness.
Just maybe it's the hat.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, Matt. I set you up for a really cool story. Not a lot of people have the story. It's nothing at all nefarious. And you had this story where this influencer brings you up and you get to do this cool thing and you're at this awesome event and you're just like, I took a picture with her. What?
Yeah.
It's not like anything happened. No one said anything happened.
Now it sounds like something happened. Let's revisit the story. So if you want to go up and make up your own fan fiction for what happened, you can chime in 844-770-3776. If you don't know, Matt Hamilton, Olympic curler. So he does have some cool, wouldn't expect that moments. He's had them with Aaron Rodgers. He's had them with Paige Sporadic and others. Jesse Nelson behind the glass of the Everlight Solar Studio. We are talking Packers and Vikings, and we did ask the question to Mark, and he's kind of falling in line with me. And I think, Matt, in general, you're with me on this idea that nothing dramatic is going to change about what I feel about the Green Bay Packers and their chances, whether they win or lose this game, as long as they come out of it healthy. You can feel a little bit more optimistic, but that's not a dramatic change. That's honestly, it's the same amount of difference that an extra night's sleep makes in these games. So, like, it's kind of it's it's minimal. It's not a significant amount of change either way. Now, for a fan, your vibes could feel a little better. You could.
I will feel better.
You hate
I will
the Vikings.
feel better.
You hate the
Packers
Vikings,
win.
not as much as Joe in the Boonies does. Joe in the Boonies chimes in. You want to know? I'm going to read this in an angry voice. You want to know why the Vikings suck? They're fakes. They stole their stupid skull chant from an Icelandic football club the way the Chiefs stole the Florida State chomp, for one. For two, they act like they have some sort of bleeping history when they've won Jack Dilly Squat for 3. The purple is a stupid color.
Did you throw that last part in, or is that all written in?
I love purple. I got a purple. I cut my finger doing something around the house, and I don't know. We have purple Band-Aids. I like the color purple. I think it's a nice accent color. Purple and black's actually a pretty awesome colorway. So, setting that aside, I don't even know the origin, but can we just be honest? Whether it's from religion to politics to sports and everything, everyone's stealing from everyone. I just learned that Star Wars stole from Dune and Harry Potter stole from Star Wars. So if the Vikings steal a chant from a soccer team and the Chiefs possibly stole a chant from Florida State, who maybe stole it from the Indians, I don't care.
What did Harry Potter steal from Star Wars?
It's Star Wars, but with
the
wizards.
same story, yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We don't need
Voldemort
to get into this.
isn't Harry's dad. Spoiler alert.
Close enough. Like, you got Chewie, you got Chewbacca, and you got Hagrid, you got Princess Leia, you got Hermione, you got Ron as Han Solo. Han Solo. You got the reluctant, orphaned kid who doesn't know that he's special. That's the main part. That's in Dune, and that's in this. They don't realize how special they are, and then that obviously continues right up.
That's
if you don't know, I
good
just watched Dune last
storytelling.
night.
Just good storytelling.
Look, and it's all stolen from Greek mythology. So, like, look, everyone steals from everyone. So that one is really a non-starter for me. Listen to a song. You listen to a song, if it involves a guitar, there's like 20 riffs you can do. They all overlap each other. So, like, I'm not going to get into the who stole what from what fan base, because that's just sad. I'm not going to do it. But Matt, I think Joe and the Boonies hates the Vikings more than you, and you hate the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like he hates the Vikings.
You tell me why you hate the Vikings.
The fans, what? Man, like, they're
your
just
teammate fans.
Obnoxious. Yes.
Let it out, Matt. Let the hate flow through you. I'm trying to channel my inner bad guy in Star Wars. I can't remember Darth Vader's leader guy, but that guy I'm trying to channel.
The Emperor?
The Emperor?
Yes.
Well, my big issue with my teammates, at least, is they are just like, it must feel like what it is like to argue with me, because they will not argue based in fact. They will base it in feeling. And like Chris Plies is the ultimate feeling guy when it comes to his sports team and why they're going to work and your team won't. And it maybe it's just because we're so much alike. It just bothers me more. So I think that's, like, to your question, is like Viking fans and Packer fans, you're so similar. It's like, yeah, and that's why it pisses me off, because there's only enough room for one of us up here. It's like you should hightail it somewhere else.
But like, this is the same argument that like Brad Nortman, who normally does this show, and Kyle Wallace and those guys when they try to dunk on Bears fans. It's like, how dare you have hope every year? Like Viking fans and other fan bases are allowed to have hope every year.
Yeah,
I agree. Reason why the Brewer fans can have hope they're going to win a World Series, even though they never won one. Like, a fan base is allowed to have hope. There's the new hope in Star Wars. Hope springs eternal. Like, that seems to be the annoyance for Packer fans with every other fan base, is that we're the only ones that are allowed to have hope. But realistically, the New England fans can laugh at Packer fans and be like, you think you're going to win a Super Bowl? We've got 6 with our guy. You only got 1 per quarterback. Like, everyone can dunk on someone else for having hope. There's levels to this. Just go ask me, Bill. So, like, the fan on fan hate is always hilarious when it's like, how dare you have hope, loser.
It's less about hope and more about, like, the misplaced trust.
It's just hope, man. All you can do, because you can't do anything, Matt. Like, you can't do a thing. So all
but they're
you
just
have
too
to
much.
do,
they're too similar. We're too similar, and that's why I don't like them.
Okay. 844-770-3776. You can chime in on why you hate Vikings fans. We can make.
And they call their casserole hot dish. Can we get rid of that?
I thought Wisconsinites again. That's one of those like oat and hot dish, like those tater tot casseroles. Like those all overlap.
It's a tater tot casserole. It's more tater tot hot dish.
Hot dish is messed up.
What's messed up?
What's the Mason-Dixon line for Wisconsin? Like, there's a line where Wisconsin changes, where it becomes more Minnesota.
It's Highway 29.
What's that? Highway 29?
It's Highway 29, yeah.
So, like, it runs across to Minnesota, too. And, like, that, to me, that's why, again, why the fan bases are similar. You kind of get into this blend of Canadian, Wisconsin, and Minnesota nice. And the vocabulary is interchangeable, and the niceness is interchangeable. And at that point, the distance between your neighbors and distance between towns is all interchangeable. The amount of lakes is all interchangeable. Like, honestly, if you planted an alien somewhere in between Wisconsin and Minnesota, they wouldn't be able to know what state they're in for very much of the time.
Yeah, you're probably right. Until they saw that stupid purple and yellow flag flying, or they heard someone go, "School!" Just something outrageous.
We got texting with a photo, which it doesn't show up, but we also have from the 715 Minnesota calls duck, duck, goose, duck, duck, gray duck.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Jim?
I don't care.
So lame.
That doesn't bother you?
Why would that
to
bother
your core? Me? Oh my god.
To my core?
Yeah.
You know how easy it is when you're going around the circle and you go duck, duck, goose, and then you get to run because it's one syllable and it sounds different. Duck, duck, gray duck. Like it's so obnoxious and unnecessary. Just call it a goose.
Yeah. They just want the head start all the time.
No need to color shame the gray duck. Like, we don't need to do that. We can just call it a goose.
I mean, I agree with you. Duck, duck, goose makes more sense, but I'm not in my feels about it.
Oh my gosh. Duck, duck, gray duck, hot dish. It's all just terrible, dude. Don't even.
Hot dish is
all
perfect
of my dinners
north of Highway 29.
Hot dish. Call me Richie Rich if you want, but I have warm meals for dinner. It's hot dish. That is hot dish. Everything I've ever eaten for dinner is hot dish. It makes no sense.
Do you think it's supper or lunch for them? Or dinner, excuse me. Supper or dinner?
It's probably supper. I don't hate that, though. I don't hate supper, but hot dish is a bad take. Gray duck is a bad take.
I guarantee you that north of Highway 29, supper and dinner are interchangeable. 844-770-3776. Jesse, you'll have to. I'm bad at checking the YouTube. Someone chimed in that YouTube comments are being neglected. So my bad on that. We can check in on those as well.
You know my feelings about the YouTube comments, but I'll search for the good of the show.
Here's the thing. Pulling back the curtain again. The equipment, we're getting error codes on the remote equipment that our engineers never seen before. So I don't know what happened. And my AirPods, and I have a Mac computer and AirPods, and they just want to pop back and forth between the computer and my phone. So that doesn't work. So I'm holding my phone against my face, like it's 19, like I'm Gordon Gekko, like I am the Wolf of Wall Street. And I'm just banging out cold calls. And so it just limits my ability to check all the socials. So we're not purposely neglecting those. You can see us at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee YouTube. You can see my Rhinelander sweatshirt, again, north of Highway 29. Matt, also north of Highway 29, Legend Lake shirt there, fake Kenosha, Wisconsin shirt, and then Jesse Nelson has a Green Bay Packers shirt. It does remind me as well, I threw this out before, I'd love people to chime in, 844-770-3776. Do you refer to Wauwatosa as Wauwatosa or Tosa? We're in the market to do so. We have you till 5 o'clock. Jim, Matt, and Molly filling in on KBN.
I see one YouTube comment on the ESPN Madison stream. I'm sure the Milwaukee has different ones, but this one asks, should I start J.K. Dobbins or Jerome Ford in fantasy this week?
Matt? I thought Dobbins was coming off an injury. I'd probably go Dobbins, though.
Thank you.
Ryan, the psychedelic advisor for Jim, Matt, and Molly. Yes, we have our own psychedelic advisor. You've never eaten cereal for dinner, Matt Hamilton?
Ooh, I guess. Touché. Yeah, touche. I warmed it up, though.
Oatmeal, then? You had oatmeal?
Yeah. Hot dish. I had hot dish.
844-770-3776. Then you have Hot dishes cooked on a hot plate from the 920. Also, bubbler. Never seen a single bubble come out. I refer to it. My kids looked like I was insane the other day when I referred to a bubbler. A water fountain is a bubbler. That is very much an old Wisconsin thing. It's one of the few Wisconsin slang that I have just kept because you kind of just grew up with it. I hate it. I'm gonna try to get back. I'm trying. Well, I used to say milk. Now I go milk, and I also got to focus on. It is a water fountain, not a bubbler, because it's Johnson Creek, not Crick. Like these are things that stick in my craw that I want to make sure we get right. But it's also Tosa, not Wauwatosa. You got to be right on it. But you can try. What's that face for?
I just feel like maybe it's Tosa for people from Wauwatosa, but for all us outsiders, keep the Wawa in there.
Keep the Wawa in there. All right, 844-770-3776. You can chime in on all those hard-hitting questions. Also, tell us why you hate the Vikings. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game-changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes, placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with first serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for nonstop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season. Visit lovb.com today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison. Hi, I'm Lauren Carlini, Olympic medalist, proud Badger alumni, and now founding athlete of Madison's newest professional volleyball team, Love Madison. I'm excited to invite you to our inaugural season, where we will be playing at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse and Alliant Energy Center starting January 25th. Visit lovb.com to get your tickets for Love Madison's historic first season in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, a special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Things are falling down on me, heavy things I could not see.
A little Phish music on a Phish Friday, presented by... we are Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Matt Hamilton, if the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, Coors Light.
So, Jesse Nelson bringing his A game today. The origins of Phish Friday he's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Jesse Nelson behind the glass. Jesse's at the Everlight Solar Studio. 2 parts.
It's with Catholics.
Yeah. Is it? And so, man, that might have been stolen too. You know, it could be a pagan thing. So, like, again, if we're getting caught up in the origins of traditions for the Vikings in Florida State and Kansas City, then we just got to make sure we're originalists. Only the true first to do anything ever is the only person that gets to hold credit and do it till the end of time. Matt Hamilton.
You might be the first one to ever do a radio show like they're talking on a telephone.
Probably not. They probably actually just picked up old school phones that were wired to the wall, and
did it the whole time like that? No way.
This. I bet you someone had to do it.
I know for a fact Jim Rutledge is not the first person to do a show like this.
On camera.
Now maybe
on camera. It's not the best aesthetic choice. I'm not very demure. I'm not very mindful. That is for sure.
I once called a high school basketball game with my phone the way Jim has it, propped up on a water bottle with each of me and the color commentator like leaning into it to talk, and it came through crystal clear like Jim sounds right now. We were like recording it and sending it back to the studio. That was where we were at for a high school game in Pewaukee one time. So
I love that you were basically like Bruce Springsteen, like at a concert where they're yelling in the microphone together, like face to face. That's how you're having to call a game.
Mike Podol and I from ESPN Milwaukee were just very close to each other, very much in the spatial zones of one another.
And you're each other's bubble.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Matt. Thankfully, we don't have to do the show like that.
Yeah,
that would have been a long show, 3 hours. Whatever you have, I have is what would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
at that point, wanted to chime in on this. We were talking about this last segment. We're also going to get your phones ready, get them up on your cheek like mine is right now, and up on your cheek, because we're going to be doing a giveaway for a Minute to Win It, where you can get some gift cards to North South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison. They got 3 great locations in Madison. But Matt, a hot dish is essentially a type of casserole, but the term hot dish is more commonly used in the upper Midwest, particularly in Minnesota, and typically refers to a hearty main course casserole made with ingredients like ground meat, canned vegetables, cream of mushroom soup, and this was the differential though, and often topped with crunchy element like tater tots, while casserole refers to a wider range of baked dishes. So a hot dish is actually probably the more specific way to reference something, because a casserole can be multiple things. A hot dish usually has something on top that's a little bit weird. Tater tot casserole is delicious, but also a really unhinged thing.
I don't need to get into this with you about cultural cuisine of upper Midwest.
I love tater tot casserole. My wife makes it. The kids eat it. It's great, but we don't have French fry casserole. Like, it's just a weird. Who thought? You know what we need to do is let's put some tater tots on top of this collection of food. It's very efficient.
It seems like a very 70s, 80s thing, though.
It's incredibly efficient. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna have it all in a bowl or on a plate all together.
Yeah. Perfect.
Like, why serve these things all separately? Because a casserole basically takes things you normally have separately and put it all together.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, you know what? Let's just throw the potato on here too. Let's just
and now this casserole is called a hot dish because we put potato on top. Good job, everybody. We came up with it. We did it.
844-770-3776. JJ and Ponette Chem's in our KBN slacking today. I'm listening on 94.5 and just realized it's 3:30. Yeah, they're lazy. They're off today. Matt Hamilton, the hardest working man at ESPN Wisconsin, is in with me.
Jim Rutledge, he's fake tough.
We are going 2 to 5. I'm taking shots at Hamilton right here. Not in front of me, but on camera. I'm not taking shots at Ben Brust, but we are getting some nice compliments. We don't have to tear people down to build people up, but we do appreciate the nice compliments. So we will just keep those compliments to ourselves. 844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. And we are going to play Minute to Win It. So we're going to step aside here so we can get a little bit more back on track, but we need some callers. And Matt, so here are the rules, folks. Matt Hamilton has to, and we have to see if we can trust him here. Matt Hamilton has to disconnect. He's going to be off the video stream and disconnect from the show because Matt is going to play a game where we basically ask him how many out of 10 can he get. And if we do it, we set an over-under for it. So Jesse and I are going to handle that right now. We're going to tell you what the category is and what the over-under is, and then we'll take some callers, and you have an opportunity to win a gift card to North and South. At a bare minimum, you're going to get a $25 gift card, but if you pick the correct over-under, you get a $50 gift card. So, Matt, bye.
All right.
And
see you later.
as Matt hangs up everything, and I don't know if we can trust him here, Jesse Nelson, but
I trust him.
Hopefully we can trust him. All right, so Jesse, we can see Matt in the mirror. It's really weird. But anyways, so Matt, he left this camera on. So now we just got, hopefully nobody else in the house just walks by. What an aggressively irresponsible move by Matt Hamilton to just leave the camera on at his dad's vacation home.
Not the most irresponsible move he's made this week.
No, just aggressively irresponsible. And that's honestly a way to describe Matt Hamilton. Okay, so let's get to the category first.
Okay, so the category is, according to ESPN Bet as of today, the top 10 coaches, NFL coaches with the best odds to win Coach of the Year.
Okay, so basically the top 10 coaches with the best odds to win Coach of the Year, NFL Coach of the Year. So that's the category. We'll take callers in a second. Jesse, I usually set the line, but what do you want to set the line on this? So I'll throw my thoughts in.
How well does Matt know his NFL head coach? Because a lot of these is just a who's who of NFL head coaches.
He's going to know. I feel like he's going to know a fair amount of these because they are the good head coaches. Like he has no idea who Arizona's head coach is.
If I was torn between 5.5 and 6.5, you want to go 6.5?
Let's go 6.5 because honestly, this is also like Matt's a fantasy football guy, and I know coaches aren't fantasy football, but that allows him a little bit. He isn't bad if it's just names off a list. Yeah. And 6.5, honestly, like these are going to be names he should know. So I think 6.5 is fair.
Let's do 6.5 then.
All right, so 6.5 is the line. And then what caller should we take here, Jesse?
Let's take caller number 4. We take 2, right?
Yep.
Caller 4 and caller 7.
All right, caller number 4 and caller number 7. Call in 844-770-3776. At a minimum, you're going to get a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. And if you pick the correct over-under, you'll get a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. 844-770-3776. The over-under is 6.5. Matt Hamilton, how many out of 10 will he know of the top 10 coaches in the odds to win Coach of the Year? 844-770-3776. Callers 3 and 5, 844-770-3776. They will get at least a $25 gift card to North South Seafood and Smokehouse, possibly a $50 gift card to North South Seafood and Smokehouse. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The little one just took her first steps. Her stride? Wobbly.
Oh my gosh, she's doing
Her parents? Oh boy, here we go.
Watch out.
But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. So while you're monitoring and protecting her every move, you can do the same for your credit score, too. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Madison athletes seeking elite training need to get started today at Total Athlete Performance. TAP is here to serve and educate the serious athlete with their speed, agility, and semi-private training options. Sessions are now available in both Windsor and their TAP facility inside the Verona Athletic Center. Also access remote training anytime, anywhere with the Total Athlete Performance app. Visit tapwisconsin.com for subscriptions, including monthly payment options. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And again, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yep.
Filling up the talking text line with the origins of casserole and hot dish and all that. We can get back to that. I didn't realize that was going to be what, when you're talking Packers and you're talking Vikings, you got to talk hot dish versus casserole. I mean, that's honestly the most important thing, what people are getting at. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly filling in for KBN. We set everyone up for Minute to Win It in and we'll get to that in a second here. It is Phish Friday. I forgot to pay this off earlier. It is Phish Friday on ESPN Madison, or on Jim, Matt, and Molly, ESPN Wisconsin, because my brother's a huge Phish fan. I enjoy Phish, the actual band, and I've never really been to a traditional Phish Fry in Wisconsin. So the playoff of it, we do a Phish Friday where we play Phish music, and we'd welcome a Phish Fry brought to the ESPN Everlight Solar Studio. It hasn't been done yet, and it wouldn't work today. So it's not gonna work. I'm in Madison, Matt's in God knows where, so it wouldn't work today. And it also wouldn't be the full Phish Fry experience. Is the other part of it? Like, right. I've had fried fish, but to go on to the full supper club Phish Fry experience, I'm pretty confident to say that I've never had that experience. I've had my Coors Light, I've had old fashions, I've had Phish Fries, but all together at a supper club, I haven't. We can circle back to that.
That's a travesty, Jim. That's a travesty.
I'm okay. I've been to supper clubs.
You're hardly a Wisconsinite.
You haven't accidentally stumbled your way into one?
I've been to supper clubs. I haven't had a fish fry at a supper club.
He's the kind of guy who'd go on Friday asking for the prime rib.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. That's tomorrow's special. That's Saturday's
I'm the kind of guy
special.
that when I had to work at McDonald's, I would get so mad at the amount of filet of fishes we had to make and serve on a Friday. 844-770-3776. North and South does have some great fish across the board. Fried fish, the shrimptastic Thursdays, so many great options.
Catfish.
The smokehouse, catfish bites. Oh, outstanding. It's not far from one for me. I live in Oregon. There's one in Verona. But we have Jesse. Who are the two contestants?
So we have Nate in Stoughton and Matt in the greenhouse, our two contestants today. Nate in Stoughton, a believer in Matt Hamilton. He has taken the over.
All right.
Wow.
So, Matt, this is one that you're not going to like the number, but it's one you should do well in. Go ahead, Jesse.
Will they beat the odds
I say everything with pure confidence, whether I think I'm totally right or not.
or crumble under pressure?
I legitimately know one of these. I legitimately have one.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
All right, Matt Hamilton, and I'm also going to try and figure out if I know how to hit all these buttons back here as you play this game. I think you're going to do all right here.
Okay.
I think Ryan, who helped put this game together, your regular producer, Primetime Wollersheim, I think he was feeling generous because he was a little under the weather, and I think he came up with a category here that fits your mindset. I think you're going to be all right. The over-under, do I tell him ahead of time, Jim? Should I do that? Or
You say it, then you go. You say
well,
it.
No, you
All
tell
right.
me the category first, then give me the over-under, and then go.
Wait, no, he doesn't get the over-under. You get the over-under.
I won't tell him what the over-under is.
Yeah, you don't get the like this guy trying to pull one on you.
He
doesn't
was
get the
trying.
over-under.
That was very fleacy, Matt.
Yeah,
That was very
yeah.
fleacy. I don't appreciate
you give
that.
the category, Jesse, then you start
You know
the
what?
clock.
I hope you stink at this. Your category, according to ESPN Bet, the top 10 NFL head coaches with the best odds to win Coach of the Year as of today. Your time starts now.
O'Connell for the Vikings.
Don't make him say full names, Jesse.
Who's
Never get
Dan
angry.
Campbell? Campbell from.
Yep.
Let's go. Maybe Andy Reid.
Those are your top 3.
Let's go. Mike Tomlin.
No.
Okay.
He's 12th.
That's weird.
Lost 2 in
Is
a row.
LaFleur on the list?
Matt LaFleur, yes.
Okay.
Number 10.
Okay. Let's see. Who else might have? Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, yes, he's on the list.
Okay. Let's see. Obviously, nobody. And how about who's the coach of the Eagles again? Is it
Can't just say teams.
Sirianni?
He is not in the top 10.
And the Bills coach, I don't think he would be because he was on like the hot seat. What about who's the guy at the beginning of the season? He might have been in the hot seat a little bit.
Gonna need a
Right,
guess.
Okay, I can't remember his name, and it's bothering me. I think we're out.
That's it. Jim, how many did he get right?
5.
5
So
correct.
Even if we had done the generous line of 5.5, you wouldn't have gotten it. But we went 6.5.
That
Figured
is
Matt
unfortunate.
knew good teams who could just name coaches of good teams.
Right, I mean, that
Sean
was
McDermott.
McDermott, that's the one I
Yeah,
was
but
thinking of for the
McDermott
Bills.
was also not one of those top coaches.
See, I
so-
didn't think he was going to be there because he wasn't. Who's the guy for the Texans? He was on the list last year.
He wouldn't have been on the list.
He's not on the
D'Amico
list. D'Amico Ryans, that's it.
By the way, I do have one correction. Mike Tomlin actually was in the top 10. I misread the list. So he was top 10, but you're
That
still
just
only
puts
at,
me 6.
Yeah, you're still short of the line here. So,
all right, well, let's go through the rest.
Yep. So, starting at the top, the coach with the best odds to win, according to ESPN Bet, is Kevin O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Dan Campbell at the Lions, he is number 2. Andy Reid is number 3 with the Chiefs. Number 4, Matt, who is the head coach of the Washington Commanders?
No idea.
Used to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, was Mike McCarthy's defensive coordinator. No. All right. Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is
okay.
number 4
Yeah.
on the list.
No, wouldn't have got that.
Coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Harbaugh.
Which one?
Jimmy.
There you go. Just wanted to check there. Yes, Jim Harbaugh is number 5 on the list. Same city, different team.
Oh, McVay's there.
Sean McVay is number 6, correct. You got Sean Payton and Matt LaFleur. You also had Tomlin at 10, so you're only missing number 9. This team got a nice win over the Bears last night in a slugfest.
I don't know who the coach of the Seahawks is.
The Packers played him a week and a half ago.
Yep. Don't know.
Mike McDonald.
Matt, Chris Orr, friend and co-host on this show, former Badger. Yep. His brother got the defensive coordinator job with the Ravens because McDaniel was promoted. McDonald was promoted, and we talked about it too. With Chris.
But that seems like the small little bit of nuance that I would absolutely just let leave my brain. That seemed like unnecessary fodder for what has to go in. What I found out and what I retained was Chris Orr's brother is now working with the Ravens.
Yeah, that seems
why like he's there doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Irrelevant.
Then what's Chris? Sorry. Got a phone call and somehow just decided my phone decided like that's what was going to happen is it was just going to take that phone call instead of it didn't like take it. It just started leaving a voicemail and it just cut you guys off.
What do you mean? I thought you'd been on a phone call this whole time.
Right. So Matt, what is Chris Orr's brother's connection to the Green Bay Packers?
To the Green Bay Packers?
Mm-hmm.
McDonald. I don't know.
He interviewed or either interviewed and turned down or interviewed the job. I believe the way we understood is he interviewed for that job and everyone kind of knew he was getting the Ravens job. But if he wasn't, the Packers were happy to have him. So
I mean,
I would have been the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers.
We could have used a little more Orr in Green Bay.
Absolutely. And shout out to Chris Orr, who just won a national championship as the linebackers coach at Jackson State. So Chris Orr doing good things out in the world. And congratulations to who won?
Matt in the greenhouse is the big winner of the North and South gift card. Congratulations, Matt.
And Matt, before we go to break, I would like to point out how reckless you were just leaving your camera live at like your family's vacation house. There's a big mirror. We saw you walking away. It was just funny. Like,
I played some pool in there.
I know. It's just funny. Like the old rules, like always pretend your mic's on, always think your camera's on. You literally just like left the camera on because we see people right now in the mirror as well. Maybe that's your own hat, but like
it is.
But like you saw you walking around. So I would suggest if you have to get up and walk away again, maybe close the computer or something or whatever you got going on there.
I like the attention, Jim. We're keeping it running.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. You could go be a winner. Matt wasn't a winner here, but you can be a winner by going to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars in one every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. We're filling in for KBN, and we'll continue. We got you till 5 o'clock. This stuff is easy. I don't know why they had to take off for it. Jim, Matt,
no. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Forget about the front row. The best seat and the best place to be on game day is Off-Broadway Draft House for all the sports. Check out our new game day menu with tostado nachos and featuring $2 hams on tap. Those specials are available all day on Saturdays and Sundays. Find out firsthand why Off-Broadway Draft House was Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Game day, any day. Discover what others already know. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer, stay for the food.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Jerry's Place, the Nitty Gritty in Sun Prairie, Whatever Bar, and Sportsman Bar and Grill.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2025 Honda HR-V LX all-wheel drive for as low as $165 per month. Or browse the vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Ortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin Sports. Catch what you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health Middleton. Keep your performance up and on track in all areas of your life with Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Middleton.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Phish Friday continues on Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Jesse Nelson behind the glass. He's in the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt Hamilton is up north. I am in a different part of Madison, and Matt is in Legend Lake. He's doxing himself, folks. Don't I am not in Rhinelander. I am wearing a Rhinelander Hodag sweatshirt because it's comfortable, and I like to vacation up in Rhinelander. We have, throughout today's show, established that Highway 29 is basically the Mason-Dixon line of Wisconsin. That when you get north of that, there's a blend between Minnesota and Wisconsin. Hot dish, supper, dinner, casserole, all that kind of blends together. This is the Ope rivalry, is what I like to call it, Minnesota versus Green Bay. You can chime in. What do you hate about the Vikings? 844-770-3776. You also can chime in on your score predictions. My stance is whether the Packers win by 100, lose by 100, or anything in between, it's really not going to change my opinion of them. I think they are a team that is fully capable of winning the Super Bowl, but the road that they're going to have to go to get to that Super Bowl is going to be difficult, and Minnesota's in that same boat. So I kind of have the top two seeds as my top two favorites to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC, and then I have Green Bay and Minnesota as the two teams that are capable of doing it, and then I just don't see Los Angeles, Atlanta, or Washington having the ability to go win enough games to get all the way to the Super Bowl. We do have a lot of text coming in off of our conversations about hot dishes and casseroles, and so I want to chime in on. I want to have the people chime in on some of those right now, and we are again filling in for KBN as they're off today for whatever reason. But Matt and I are working, and we're happy to do it, and we're happy to talk Packers with you and talk Minnesota versus Wisconsin with you on a Phish Friday. It is Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly because, well, I haven't been to traditional fish fry, and also
Sacrilege.
I'm a fan of the band Phish. Dan and East
And
Troy
he claims to be a Wisconsinite, which I don't think you can without.
I don't claim a lot of Wisconsinite things though, Matt Hamilton. Dan and East Troy chimes in. I line the dish with tater tots, pour the meat mixture in, and top with tater tots. Sounds delicious. Then we had Mike from Sauk Prairie. Tater tot casserole was invented in Mankato, Minnesota. I don't know the sourcing on that, but I'll take your word for it.
It couldn't be because he's calling it casserole. If it was invented in Mankato, it would have been tater tot hot dish.
I just love the idea of back to this sourcing of unsourceable things. This idea of the first person ever to create the tater tot casserole was in Mankato, Minnesota. Did they submit it somewhere? And that's not a shot at Mike. It's just hilarious to me.
I'd want credit if I was the one who did it, for sure.
This is the origin of what credit? Yeah, let's just take these let's just dump all of our dinner into one dish and then put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Johnny chimes in, go Hodags. Absolutely. And then, yes, Robin Madison, is Matt fidgeting or playing with coins? No, Matt Hamilton just can't figure out. He's not toughing it out like I am. I have my phone up to my ear so I can give you the best quality. Matt's hair and beard is scraping against the microphone. It was doing it yesterday too.
We actually learned it is his hair. So normally, when others use the setup that Matt is, usually it's like the beads, like the string on their sweatshirt is messing with it when you hear that sound. Yeah. For Matt, it's just straight up his hair, which is
facial hair or his
all of it. It's just all of it. So
can't do a ponytail, Matt.
Not and wear this sweet cowboy hat, dude.
Oh, good. Well, at least you have the important things lined up. I mean, please wear the cowboy hat that you can see on ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee's.
It's a vibe, dude.
It's something. I'll tell
you. Are you trying to kill my
sure.
vibe right now?
I'm trying to give the audience high quality audio. That's why I'm holding a phone against my face because none of the remote equipment is working properly. And so, you know what I said? I am going to tough it out for the team and hold his phone because
you know I had some earbuds that never got complaints about having hair brushed up against them.
They got complaints about other things.
Oh God, I just can't do anything right.
You can't. What you could do right is you could go to Carbon World Health. You could use them for cryotherapy, red light therapy. You could do semaglutide, which is what I did, which look, at this point, everyone probably knows what semaglutide is. It only keeps on getting better as ways for you to be able to lose weight and keep weight off. It is FDA certified. You can go see Dr. Ness Rodriguez like I have, and you can take that semaglutide and see how it can change your life. And then also they have hormone optimization as well at Carbon World Health. But like all the working out I do there, it's just easy for me to hold this phone up. I mean, it's just man muscles there. Matt Hamilton. That's what comes from working out. You're an Olympic curler. You can't hold the phone up to your ear all day. And look at me. I'm just holding it up. I'm just a regular guy. So whether you're an Olympian like Matt Hamilton or a regular Gordon Gekko like me, you can tough it out. So we'll continue to talk. We got one more hour left. Matt, I am impressed with you because you barely do 6 hours of radio a week. And now we've done 6 hours of radio in 2 days. So over the holidays, so Matt Hamilton is bringing it. He is stepping it up, and we appreciate it. We'll hit you back on the other side. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
In fact, there aren't any quarterbacks on campus. So they're going to come in with whoever else we sign, and they're starting on the same level. They're not coming in against somebody that knows the playbook. And I'm sure the coaches are telling them, we're going to play the best guy. So if you're not afraid to compete, come on in.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. The Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings squaring off in a huge NFC North showdown Sunday afternoon, 3:25, the kickoff time. Remember, that's changed from the originally scheduled noon kickoff. 3:25 for the Packers and Vikings. The line for this game has shifted a couple of times. Currently on ESPN Bet, the Vikings listed as 1.5-point favorites. How important is it for the Packers to get this win over the Vikings on Sunday? ESPN's Rob Domofsky.
I asked Jordan yesterday, I said, look, you're combined 0-5 against the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings. How badly do you need to win against one of these good teams? And he did not hesitate, and he said badly. And he went on to say, we have one more chance this week, and we got to be able to win these games against the really good teams and set ourselves up for the situation that we're going to be in the playoffs. And, of course, they're going to be a wild card team. They're going to have to go on the road.
ESPN's Rob Domofsky earlier today, nationally on Greeny on ESPN Radio. He also joined Wilde and Tausch today. Find the full podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Yeah, okay, a military wife,
you,
a deep sea fisherman,
Jim,
and a lead conductor for an orchestra. That was actually pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Love, Goff, and Darnold are unique names. Williams is a very generic name.
Almost as generic as Brown. I totally understand.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
I mean,
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are not live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jesse Nelson is at the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt Hamilton playing with his eyebrows in whereabouts unknown up north. Legend Lake, if you will, in fake Kenosha, Wisconsin. I am Jim Rutledge in Madison. You can see us on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page. I'm rocking my Rhinelander sweatshirt. Matt rocking his Legend Lake sweatshirt. And we are taking you up until 5 o'clock. That's when we will finally get a break, because apparently KBN couldn't be bothered to work today. So, Matt, you and I get the opportunity to step in, and we're thrilled to do it because we are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a delicious Coors Light.
And shout out to Jesse Nelson for figuring out the keys for the show. I want to get to a little bit of Xavier Lucas news that's very specific to Madison fans. We had Jason Wilde on the other side of the break here, but Xavier Lucas, if you're a Badger football fan, I think you'll care about this information. And shout out to Colton Bartholomew from the Wisconsin State Journal for giving us this information. But I do think, because this is a KBN show, and those who listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly know back when the show was the Jump Around, or when it was Rutledge and Hamilton, Alex Strofe was often our producer. Well, Alex Strofe now has failed forward and is the producer of KBN. And Jesse mentioned something to me
no idea
offhandedly during the one of the breaks about the organization of the show and how it's much easier nowadays to step in when prime time is out with the flu.
Last time I stepped in to produce your actual show here in the afternoon, it was when Strofe was running things, and much easier this time around. Shout out Wooly.
Yeah, basically, Matt, everything was scattershot throughout the computer system, and Primetime has it lined up everywhere. So much easier. Matt, you might even actually be able to run the show if you had to. In this case, Alex Strofe, whatever the opposite of a beautiful mind is, that's what he had going on back there. So, you know, like a beautiful mind, like Russell Crowe's got it all figured out and everything connects. Mm-hmm. Strauss more like his mind threw up on the computer, and then you have to find all the pieces, and that's how you produce the show. So different strokes for different folks, but I do want to share this little note. So Wisconsin, obviously it's transfer portal season, and there was a little bit of news here where cornerback Xavier Lucas tweeted last Friday that the program, the Wisconsin Badgers, were holding up his desire to transfer. And if you don't know, Xavier Lucas was a four-star recruiter. He is a four-star recruit from Pompano Beach, Florida. He started and played in either most of the games or all the games this year and was counted on, I think, by the Badgers to be a starting corner for them this year. And the hang-up is, and this is what I find interesting, Matt, is that the Badgers' contention, again, this is from Colton Bartholomew of the Wisconsin State Journal, and the Badgers have not officially commented on this, but his reporting has the Badgers contend that Lucas signed a deal with the program before he left the state to go back home in December. And when he went back home December 19th, when he was back home Pompano Beach, he says he wants to enter the portal. So this is something that could have ripples throughout the NCAA, because he is claiming he's met all the requirements for the transfer portal process. The Badgers are saying, you signed a contract with us. You can't have it both ways. Very interesting. Today's you're going to see more and more of this, but this is one. Maybe this is the case that leads to more secure contracts.
Yeah, I wonder what that contract entails. Like, are colleges allowed to give their players contracts?
Well, I'm imagining you got money for something and you signed a deal. And so I'm guessing there was a payout and the deal was paid. And then you take your money, sign this saying like, hey, give me this money. And again, this is me projecting, but I'm guessing that's what the hang up is. Money was given. That means, and you signed the deal. You're saying, hey, we're gonna give you this money. You're going to play football for us. This happened a little bit with actually former Badger Marcus Cromartie as the representation out at UNLV. Their starting quarterback, remember, stopped playing halfway through the year because he said that the school did not follow through on their end of the bargain.
Right. This is getting into some muddy waters. And again, like, I have no problem with it, but there needs to be precedence. And maybe this is what is going to happen with these cases. But college kids deserve to be paid for their play. But the schools also deserve to have a little bit of security in the sense that if you are bringing somebody in and you are paying them, because let's be completely honest about this isn't NIL, it's pay for play. The colleges are paying you to play in these for their team. So like, this is pay for play. This isn't some NIL thing. I feel like it's only fair that there's contracts going both ways. So yeah, the kids, you get to reap the benefits of your name, your abilities, and you get to get paid in college to come play here. But there needs to be some sort of agreement, whether it's a 2-year deal or we sign you to all 4 years and there's like ways you can get out. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but this seems like the start of like contracted college kids in college football.
All right, we won't talk about that with Jason Wilde. We will talk about the Packers versus Vikings. Jason Wilde is coming up next as Jim, Matt, and Molly take over of KBN.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
So I'm tired and grumpy the last 2 days, you're mad. Today I'm jolly as St. Nick and you're mad. Like, I can't please you two.
You're not as jolly as St. Nick.
Sounded jolly.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
The Great Dane has been a Madison original for 30 years. Supporting the community has been and remains a pillar of the Great Dane since they opened here in Madison. Their largest fundraiser is Adopt a Family, which has provided thousands each year in gifts and much-needed supplies for local families since 1995. From food to mattresses, this year they're supporting the Outreach LGBTQ Community Center to ensure more parents and children get the holiday season that they deserve. Stop in any Great Dane location or head to greatdanepub.com to donate today.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison this January. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison Volleyball is Madison's newest pro team. Get ready to watch some of the world's best volleyball players, from Olympic medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 17th at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets for Love Madison matches. Volleyball is the next major league.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
We are thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde. I do want to share this news for all the sports fans out there, though, that it's coming through, and I've seen multiple places on my timeline. It's been out for about an hour now, so I feel comfortable sharing with everyone that Greg Gumble, longtime CBS sports anchor, has passed away at the age of 78. So a legend in sports, and obviously he'll be missed on many levels, but just one of those, especially for me at 44, I'm sure Jason Wilde's got connection, even Matt Hamilton and Jesse Nelson, Greg Gumble, a legend. So best wishes to him or to his family, as Greg Gumble passed away today at the age of 78. Jason, I'm not going to look for Greg Gumble thoughts, but switching to this game, I wanted to know your thoughts on this Minnesota Green Bay game. I have this thought that I just don't see anything happening in this game that's going to dramatically change my opinion of the Packers outside of an injury. Just in the idea that I think the Packers, because the road they're going to have to go, just like Minnesota, most likely, is that nothing's going to change my thoughts on them as a team that can go to the Super Bowl. But I would put Detroit and Philadelphia as the two most likely teams to represent Super Bowl from the NFC, and Minnesota and Green Bay, two teams that are capable of representing the Super Bowl or representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, and then everyone else not really in that category. So I think there's only 4 teams that have a legit shot of going to the Super Bowl. Packers being one of them, regardless of what happens in this game.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet against the Rams, though. They've got a coach who's been there. They've got a quarterback who's been there. They've got other players that have been there. They obviously are the team that's kind of figured things out late in the season after having their own injury issues and what have you earlier in the year. So I would put them in the same category as the Packers and the Vikings. Look, I think the Vikings have not gotten enough credit for what they've done, including from my guy Tausch, who has come around now and acknowledged that he should have probably given them a little more credit. But the bottom line is that if Detroit is healthy, which they're not, we would probably look at them and Philadelphia as far and away better than the other teams that are viewed as contenders. So, look, I do think this is a game where, while I don't know if it will change my opinion in terms of what they're capable of as a Super Bowl contender, it will definitely change my opinion of how good they are in terms of just what they've accomplished this season and whether or not they're capable of beating another good team, because these are both good teams, right? They've beaten a lot of bad teams, and they've beaten a couple of teams that have won their divisions or could win their divisions that either were down, like the Rams were when they played them, or aren't really that good, which is how I kind of feel about Houston after couple of the games they've played of late, right? They're down to 9-7 now on the season. So look, this is, and Jordan Love said it. Like Rob Domofsky asked him, how badly do you guys need to win a game like this just to, kind of prove that you can play well against good teams? And he said badly. We need this badly. So the fact that he said that I thought was pretty telling, considering that, usually you get the 1-0 every week coach speak from these guys, and he acknowledged that. The question I had for Tausch this morning, and I don't know if you guys broached it when he was on with you, but I'm curious. Young players, we kind of assume we know how their brains work, and they're too young to know better, or too young to be nervous, or too young to be worried about other stuff. I'd be curious to know if they go into U.S. Bank Stadium on Sunday and win handily or win in impressive fashion, what does that do for their confidence of going on the road for 3 straight games to try and get to the Super Bowl? And conversely, if they go in there and the Vikings take it to them, what does that do for their confidence about what lies ahead? Are they going to be able to just brush that off? And do they really not need the confidence boost of beating them as they get ready to embark on these road trips? I don't know. I don't know their psyche well enough to know that, but I know this. They're going to feel a hell of a lot better about themselves if they go in and win on Sunday than if they get beat 34-20, and then they're sitting there going, all right, can we beat these guys? We've now lost 5 games, and it's to the 3 good teams in the conference. I'm curious how it's going to play out, and then what happens after.
Jason, I can't believe we haven't done this, because I've wanted to ask you. I want to loop you in on our bold prediction for the week. Do you want to throw out a bold prediction for this game in any fashion, whether it's Vikings, yards, touchdowns, whatever, Packers, players?
Carrington Valentine pick 6.
Ooh, all right, Jimmy. I know you heard that. We're getting Wilde into our bold predictions. Don't quote me.
I like it. I like the bold prediction. Sam Darnold is in his own a thon as well. So again, we all do this of we only focus on our teams, and Jason isn't one of them, but Sam Darnold has been on fire efficiently. I believe his completion percentage is higher. He's thrown for more yards and I believe more touchdowns since mid-November, or I think November 10th, than Jordan Love. So it is interesting.
Do you do you guys think if his name was Sam Hamilton or Sam Rutledge, he'd be getting way more credit for what he's done this season? But because everyone has this idea of what Sam Darnold is, he's not, like, people just sort of say, well, it's got to be a fluke because this is what Sam Darnold was with the Jets.
100%.
Which is insane to me, Jason, as I root for a team that has no structure, which Sam Darnold played for a team that had no structure, had no great head coaching, had no offensive line, and had no running game. And you see how tough they make life on a quarterback. And now Sam Darnold is on a team with a good coaching staff, a good offensive line, a running game with Aaron Jones, and playmakers all around him, and an organization that seems to have a pretty solid structure, and then a talented QB like Sam Darnold can succeed. So he honestly kind of had his own Jordan Love route because he did have to go sit for a little bit, and then he came back, and people just won't forget the baggage from the Jets, and he wasn't horrendous with the Jets. So he basically had to start, sit, and then come back. Exactly.
Yeah. Look,
you can't say you saw ghosts. That's also part of it.
I want to ask Jim something else too, because every time now I wade into Twitter and post anything at all other than
I saw what you posted.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Rob Domofsky's on Wilde and Tauscher right now. Tune in. Or Brian Bulaga. That's really all I use it for at this point. So I got, you know how I feel about Caleb Williams. Like, I want him to be really good. There's a lot of things to like about him. I didn't think I crucified him for his answer last night, but I was disappointed, man. Like, I thought, I'm huge on, and Sydney and I and Maddie and I talk about this all the time about leadership and taking advantage of those opportunities. And I just thought that his answer last night was such an opportunity missed, and I was really disappointed in him. Am I wrong to think that?
I think it's proper to say an opportunity missed. What happened, I think he gets caught up in a little too much of like coach speak and not his real answer, because what you're referencing is he basically was asked about the fans booing, and he essentially said, hey, they've been booing long before I came here, so I'm not going to take it personal. They are passionate, and, if I play better, they'll stop booing, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it. And he could have taken a much more, I think, thoughtful answer and a much more just a reference to how much Bear fans have kind of had that pain and, really kind of acknowledging it. So it was I think missed opportunity is the right way to describe it. By no means was it a horrible answer, but it was by no means the answer that you wish a guy would give. But it still also goes back to, Jason, we're still asking so much of Caleb, because this should be a question for the head coach. This should be a question for the owner and the GM and Kevin Warren for answering this, because they're the ones that are, when they're saying sell the team, they're talking about them. So I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I think Caleb was also trying to dodge the sell the team chance. So it's ugly in Green Bay, and Caleb is, I would say, doing okay, but he hasn't fully risen above off the field. I mean, play-wise, Matt, his stats are actually pretty good. He's just,
I'm only laughing because you said it's ugly in Green Bay. Literally,
I'm sorry, ugly in Chicago. Ugly in Chicago.
I would have, again, I feel like the quarterback is different, right?
Yeah.
And if you ask an offensive lineman that, it's not the same, right? But Tausch and I talked about it on our show, because it really did, and look, I am not like hunting opportunities to kill the guy. Like, no. I had some Chicago folks get after me. I didn't realize this until afterward, that I retweeted a guy who dropped an F-bomb in his tweet to me, which I try to avoid normally. But like, the answer is sitting there for you, right? And the idea of saying, look, the reason I'm here is to put an end to that. And I am motivated to make sure that I know Bears fans have suffered. I get it. And I'm here to put an end to that. And it hasn't worked out the way I wanted to this season. It also, and look, he has to say how he feels. But, like, Rodgers had a really crummy answer on Sunday for what happened with his team, too. And, like, I just feel like there's just a different standard. And Rodgers is 41, not 23. Yeah. And he has had plenty of bad answers this season. He had a variation of, well, I've only been here for 1 year, a couple weeks ago when they lost. But, again, Caleb Williams strikes me as such a charismatic dude that the fact that he bypass that opportunity. I think it's because I'm rooting for him, unlike Packers fans, that I think it bothered me more.
And I think you just struck a nerve because there's a lot of people, and honestly, it's not Packer fans. It's just a lot of people that are going to hate him because he's number one pick, hate him because he paints his nails, hate him because he's got bravado. That there's just a bunch of people looking to jump on him for everything. That's not what you were doing, but I think you struck a nerve with Bears fans who get annoyed with like, hey, the guy's had a up and down, but he's thrown for 4 times this year for over 300 yards, something that Patrick Mahomes nor Josh Allen have done this year. So like he's had his ups, he's had his downs, and I think fans probably reacted to the guy does feel like he's just getting piled on, but I know you weren't doing that.
Yeah, they're the ones booing, though.
Right. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Jason, I know you gave us you need to get out at 4:30 here, so we'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. We do appreciate you making time and your thoughtful answers on the Packers and Vikings. And I don't disagree with you on Caleb. We definitely need more out of him. Hopefully he continues to grow as someone who can represent the team off the field.
All right, boys, enjoy having Jesse for another 29 minutes. I appreciate you. Take care.
It's been torture. Thank you, Jason.
That's rude.
I think he's been okay.
JK Security Solutions, locally owned, veteran-owned, family-owned business that can protect your home or business, whether it's controlling the most important things in your life from anywhere in the world, or commercial fire detection, commercial security. JK Security Solutions can help you. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Packers offense puts up over 400 yards and the defense allows no points as the Green Bay Packers shut out the New Orleans Saints at Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field 34-0. Their 5th straight game of over 30 points. So now they've clinched a playoff berth for the second straight season. But as Jordan Love knows, they still have a huge game against the Vikings coming up.
Obviously, we lost to them early in the season, so one of these games that we got to get back. We got to go win this game, and we've talked about it earlier. We got to be able to beat these good teams.
Next up on the schedule, a 3:25 kickoff on Sunday in Minnesota. It's the Packers and Vikings.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the East Side today.
Get ready to haul away big savings with Fleet Farm's end-of-year bucket sale. Just pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket in-store for $3.99. Fill it up with whatever you can fit inside and save 15% on everything in your bucket, including clearance. But hurry, our bucket sale's 4 days only, December 26th through the 29th. So bucket up and save while you can at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
I'm floating in the blimp a lot.
It is Jim and Matt and I am Rich alongside Matt Hamilton. I am pulling double duty now as I am making sure that my youngest and her friend are having a good, safe time while we host Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Matt Hamilton up north and Jesse Nelson at the Everlight Solar Studio. And you get into the show, 844-770-3776. You can tell us why you don't like the Minnesota Vikings. But right now, we're going to play Throwing Stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
Guys, stepping away from the world of sports for a minute, I have a stone that I want to throw. Inspired by being sick, I went home immediately last night and sat down on the couch and binge-watched 4 consecutive episodes of a show that my wife Becca and I just started together. And I've come to the realization I don't like when streaming shows come out all at once and you binge watch 4 or 5 episodes all at one time. I've realized this because with other shows where they're released one per week, like more of a traditional TV format, you actually get to appreciate the show that much more. By sitting down, you experience it, you think about it, you ponder, what's going to happen next for that character? What's the storyline development going to be here? And instead, you watch 5 at a time, and one storyline starts and ends in the span of 2 hours while you're sitting there with a popcorn on the couch. I've decided that I don't like the consecutive streaming option when something brand new comes out because it takes away from the actual value that it has for you consuming a new show on a streaming platform. I want it to come out like old TV, one new episode every week.
So you have no self-control is what you're saying. Because nobody is forcing you to watch all of them at one time.
Well, they all end on cliffhangers now, Jim, and you can't have a cliffhanger and know that the next episode's right there and be like, oh man, I wonder what happens. No, you're just going to let it play and go. And then if you stop it, then Becca's over there, well, we're going to play the next one, aren't we? I'm like, well, no, I want to wait till next week. You can't get away with that. You got to keep playing it.
Yeah, Jesse, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not the kind of person, even if it did get stepped out week by week, I'm still letting a couple of them build up so I can watch for a longer period of time. Even the long shows like Game of Thrones, it's like an hour-long episode. That could kind of scratch the itch, but a lot of times these shows are 45 minutes, half hour. It's not enough time. So I personally am someone who likes the whole season to come out and then just binge it.
So I'm not a Game of Thrones
This is coming out the
guy.
way you want.
If I would have guessed, I would have guessed Matt Hamilton was a Game of Thrones guy.
I'm not either. I just know that they're like long episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, just looking at you, like I feel like you'd be a Game of Thrones guy is all.
I think I could be a character.
Must be the cowboy hat.
In my outfit. Yeah, maybe.
But I guess that's the last true TV show that came out like weekly that universally the most people consume together live on, I think it was still HBO, not Max at the time.
Right.
So, yeah, now and you have like Hulu comes out with episodes that debut one new one every week. Disney Plus, a lot of their shows are one new one every week. Netflix.
Apple.
Yeah, Apple does that. Netflix, it's like, here you go, bam. It's, oh, man, we got to watch all 10 now in 2 days, and you can't even remember what happens with all of it.
Well, then you can go back and watch it again.
You can't get away with. There's more in play here because it's available. You're going to consume it, especially if you're watching. Like if it was just me at home, sure, I have the self-control to turn it off. When you're consuming it with somebody, it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to turn this off, I got to have a good option to turn on, and I sure as hell couldn't turn on Seahawks Bears last night 3-3 in the second quarter. I wasn't going to be able to get away with that. So
nobody was binge watching that game. I'll tell you that much. People want to stop up. You can release that game one quarter at a time.
Jim, you might have hated me because I sat and watched that game a lot more than I thought I would last night.
I think it had a lot to do with people didn't have things to do. My friend Tyler from Simon Chevy shot me a note, and he was watching the game as well. And I was like, "Why? You don't have to put yourself through this torture." But yeah,
rainy,
it's kind of fun to see.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to watch. To be honest, I was like, "What is going on here?" This punt fest.
Yeah, the punts, whatever, man. It was coaching malpractice. I mean, that's the story of the game. I mean, the Bears had the ball with more than enough time to try to get in front, and they wasted a timeout with less than 2 minutes to go because they changed their mind last minute about punting.
Yeah,
and it was two crazy out of his hat plays to keep the game alive.
That 4th and 2 was wild for sure. Like that little off balance over two guys, but before the secondary. Wild little throw. That was sick. The biggest mistake was 100% right when they were 4th and 2 with 2.5 minutes to play and they send out the punt unit and then realize oh my gosh, we might not get the ball back. We should go for it. It's 4th and 2.
I think it's a good reminder.
Why not try the 57-yard field goal instead
Cairo
of
Santo doesn't have that.
He
doesn't have it in him.
Well, the Bears didn't have 4th and 10 either.
Yeah,
at least
true.
it's a kick.
Well, they couldn't block it. Caleb had two guys up on him immediately, so he's had to throw it in the air. So there's a lot of problems. I heard someone describe, actually, it might have been Brian Baldinger or someone was talking about what Brian Baldinger sounded like on social media, that basically the Bears are like everyone who plays Madden. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no design flats. It's just a bunch of people smashing buttons. And so a good coordinator like Coach LaFleur, a good coach would be like, oh, they're bringing all out blitz from the right. Let's make an audible to have let's put an audible in here so we can have a player go to that empty spot. So when they blitz, you just throw it over them to the empty spot. But all that aside, it was an ugly game. I guess that would be my stone then, Matt, would be just, you know what? Maybe the Bears were smart for never firing their coach midseason because that it made everything worse. It made it all worse. They went from hey, they're losing some games tight to an abject disaster. So it's just, if I could simulate to the end of the season, I would just skip the Packer game and call it a year. It would be more than okay with me. I could have skipped the Seattle game. I could have skipped the last couple games. It's just, if you were playing Madden, you'd hit sim and then just be done. Good thing for Packer fans. They got a big game coming up against the Vikings. We are going to play Molly's game coming up next, along with Don't Quote Me. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Molly Brown here for Potawatomi. Hey, all you sports bettors, if you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you're missing out on an elite experience. The state-of-the-art venue has dozens of self-service betting kiosks, seating for over 200 people, a first-class bar and restaurant, VIP deck, and a broadcast booth, which we're big fans of. In a major move for all sports bettors out there, you can now use your Potawatomi rewards card at most self-service kiosks and the betting counter. If that isn't enough for you, there's a giant video wall that's over 2,000 square feet. And if you're short on time, they have free 20-minute reserved structure parking. Bet on your favorite sports and earn rewards points along the way. Now that's a winning play. Bet above the rest. Learn more at paysbig.com/sportsbook.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. Wisconsin men's basketball off through the new year. They'll have Iowa to tip off 2025. Senior Max Klusman on the team's identity moving into conference play, believing they can hang with the best of the best.
I don't think we wow anybody athletically, or maybe not pass the eye test, as some would like to say. At the end of the day, you got a whole group of 17 guys that are going to come out compete at a really high level, and we're going to, swing the hardest we can swing each and every night. We're going to try to make your life difficult. We're going to, come at you, keep coming at you, throwing haymakers, and, we're relentless and we just won't give up.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. PellaWI.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Get your hydration on track with Water Joe. Water Joe has 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 carbs. Get a liter of Water Joe at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market for just 99 cents now until January 5th. Just purified water infused with a kick of caffeine. It's a great alternative to sugary sodas, sugary coffee, or energy drinks. Get that liter of Water Joe for 99 cents through January 5th at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
They dance above me as I sing. I see them through a crystal haze and hear their sweet sound bouncing round.
It is my favorite Phish song, wrapping up Phish Friday. It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We filled in for KBN. Thanks to everyone listening across ESPN Wisconsin. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Jesse Nelson at the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see us on ESPN Madison or ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page. You can listen back to today's show, Wisconsin on the Man, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. We're going to play Molly's game in a minute, but Adam Schefter put out earlier today that the Packers have ruled out linebacker Quay Walker, safety Evan Williams, offensive lineman Andre Dillard, and cornerback Jair Alexander for Sunday's game against the Vikings. Also of note, Jalen Hurts out versus Dallas with his concussion. So some injury news before we get into Molly's game.
Hi. I am looking for Molly. I've been searching everywhere and I can't seem to find Molly.
This is Molly's Game, hosted by America's favorite bookie, Molly Brown.
Well, kinda. Molly Brown out with babies, so therefore you get me, America's second favorite bookie, apparently. Jesse Nelson, fill it in. Here are the results of last week's Molly's Game, by the way. Jim, you went 2-2 last week. You guys picked several bowl games here, it looks like, plus a couple of NFL action. Matt Hamilton, a perfect 4-0 last week. How about that, Matt? Big win for you last week.
It's just what I do now that I'm a Cowboy hat guy. That's just comes with the territory.
James Madison. What were the 4 games?
James Madison winners 27-17 over Western Kentucky in the Boca Raton Bowl,
which I switched last minute. My betting sharps instincts kicked in, and I had to change that one.
You both had Patrick Mahomes playing for the Chiefs. Let's look at the Steelers here. The Ravens beating the Steelers. Man, these games feel like they were forever ago because these teams played Saturday and Wednesday. The Ravens beat the Steelers. Jim, you took the Steelers. That was incorrect. Matt had the Ravens. He was correct. And then you both took the Chargers over the Broncos, correct, on Thursday Night Football, what feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So just 2 games to pick from for Molly's game this week. Just 2 games to pick from. Saturday NFL slate, 3:30 kickoff Saturday afternoon. The Denver Broncos at the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati still with an outside chance to reach the playoffs if they can win out and get some help. Broncos are going to be in, but they are battling for playoff positioning. The Bengals are 3-point favorites at home. Matt, since you were the winner last week, why don't you go first here? Who do you got?
That's an easy one for me. I think Cincinnati's basically going to rout them, and because Bo Nix can't play in a shootout the way Joe Burrow can, the Cincinnati's going to be able to run away with it.
Honestly, I have the exact same take as Matt Hamilton. I'm not a believer in Bo Nix. I think he's fine quarterback, but I think we're going to be talking about Bo Nix as a guy that'll be replaced in the next 3 or 4 years and not
like a Sam Darnold.
Well, no, I'd say almost more like a Brock Purdy of like, is he worth the money? Is he a system? Like one of those guys where you're like, I don't love paying this guy. All right. Reverse Sam Darnold because he has a great situation with a great coach, but I don't think he's got great talent.
Reverse Sam Darnold. All right, then the NFL slate, which really sucks this weekend. How about the Sunday night football game? They flexed this one into Sunday night. That's how good all these games are. The Atlanta Falcons at the Washington Commanders, your Sunday night football game this week. The Commanders are 4-point favorites at home, fresh off that big win over the Eagles. Jim, who you got?
You know what? I'm going to go with, man, it's tough because Penix is still pretty inexperienced, but I'm going to go with Atlanta. Like Washington now has 2 wins this year that they had no business winning. And Daniels is obviously a great player, but I think Raheem Morris is a really good defensive coordinator and obviously he's the head coach of Atlanta. So I think Atlanta is going to kind of keep Washington in check. I think Washington is very much a boom or bust team. And again, they have 2 wins more than they most likely would have if he played those games 10 times. And so I just don't think their record is fully indicative of how good Washington is. So I think Atlanta's going to win this one.
Matt?
I'm not a believer in Atlanta. I know Penix second game, right? He started last week.
This will be his second career start, yes.
It's just a lot of pressure to put on a guy who is just literally been flung into this situation with basically what feels like crowd hate for Kirk Cousins. So I'm gonna go with Washington. I know it wasn't the real Philadelphia Eagles, but it's a win's a win, and that's a good win. They're gonna ride that high, and they're gonna carry it into Atlanta.
Well, we know one of you is going to be a winner then over the other next week, since you've gone differently on one of the two games. So it all comes down to that Sunday night game. There's a reason to watch, if nothing else. Hey, bonus here for the final segment.
Yep.
We're not saying it's gonna happen.
Let it ride!
But if it does, then we want credit.
Say that again, because that is an amazing take.
I told you all.
If not, well...
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said...
Final predictions for Packers Vikings. Don't quote me for coming up this Sunday afternoon, 3:25. Matt Hamilton, what is your bold prediction for the Packers and the Vikings this weekend?
All right, so mine's going to be quarterback based. I'm going to have Jordan Love getting over 300 yards passing, 0 interceptions, and I'm going to say 2 interceptions for Sam Darnold.
A lot of wish casting there, huh?
Maybe it's wish casting. Maybe it's just I have a feeling.
Jordan Love has not thrown for 300 yards since
Minnesota.
September 29th.
And that's why I'm picking it. Minnesota just can't help but give up 300 yards to Jordan Love.
And I feel like that's probably one of the last times that Jordan Love threw for over 30 passes in a game. Jordan Love for the season has been most successful at around 225, and he averages like 1.5 touchdowns per game and no interceptions.
I'm aware, but I know what this game's going to require. It's going to be Jordan Love stepping up.
Interesting. Look, before I give you my don't quote me, Canopy Wealth Management, care, confidence, and clarity is not just a tagline at Canopy Wealth Management. They will do what is right for you because they are a fiduciary. That means they put your interests first. They've done that for me. They can do that for you. Go to canopy-wealth.com to learn more from them. I'm going to say, and I guess I'm trying to figure out how big I can need to make this for Aaron Jones, but I do believe that Aaron Jones is going to outgain Josh Jacobs in overall yardage. And what do I need? 2 touchdowns? Like outgaining Josh Jacobs and scoring 2 touchdowns. Is that enough for Josh Jacobs in this game? I mean,
just outgaining him outright, or do you want to put a number on it?
We'll go
outgain him by 10 yards, 15.
We'll say outgain to make it a little bit tougher, which means at least 150 total yards. And I'll go 2 touchdowns for Aaron Jones.
All right. I think that's pretty bold enough. And then we got Wilde's pick 6 for Carrington downtime.
He did say that. Ryan says the Packers defense finishes with more sacks and takeaways than the Vikings, and Josh Jacobs finishes with more total yards than Aaron Jones. So he goes the opposite side of that, Jim.
Nice.
Molly says Jair Alexander will play. She's already out. And Justin Jefferson will have under 50 yards receiving. So, I mean, maybe that'll happen, but we already know Jair Alexander's out for the game from Adam Schefter. So, sorry, Molly, you're not going to win this week.
And since November 10th, Sam Darnold's thrown 1 interception. So, bold. I like it.
There's bold ones out there. It is a bold predictions, and don't quote me, Jim, but I think
it is. I just love how much you hold on to needing Jordan Love to be Aaron Rodgers instead of him being Jared Goff. And you could go to the Super Bowl with either. But whatever, it's fine. They both have been to the same amount of Super Bowls. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly. Thanks for listening. You can listen back to Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. Enjoy the Packers versus Vikings game. Thanks to Jesse. Thanks to everyone else. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
It's casserole, not hot dish. See ya.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play.